Hello, everyone. This is Brother Benson, and I'm joined with Mzalendo. Mzalendo, habari ya asubuhi.
Mzuri sana kaka, mzuri sana.
Mhm. Uko na
Nashukuru
jambo
Mungu.
uko na jambo ambalo labda inakusumbua?
Hamna jambo isipokuwa
Mhm.
ni baridi, ni msimu wa baridi na nahisi baridi kweli kweli.
Unahisi, lakini sijakuona
Mm.
kama umevaa zile manguo labda zinakuletea joto. Naona tu kama uko na nguo nyepesi
Ah,
sana.
ni kuvumilia ama ni kuzoea?
Mm.
Eh, ni kuvumilia tu hali ya anga huku.
Okay, sawa sawa, asante.
Mm.
Wiki yako ilikuwaje?
Hii wiki unajua tunaanza ile msimu wa Thanksgiving. Mm.
Mm.
Uh, so tumekuwa tuko katika ile pilka pilka ya kujiandaa kwenye hizo sherehe zile zinakuja hii wiki. So huku niliko watu
Mm.
wanajiandaa sana
Ah.
kusherekea hiyo siku ya Thanksgiving na mafamilia zao. So unapata watu wanaenda wanatembea kila mahali,
Mm.
wanasafiri kuona familia. Yeah.
Okay. Naona tuko na Brenda Obedi, na pia tuko hapa na Gudia, naona wanatuma salamu. Nasema
Nashukuru.
uzipokee hizi salamu.
Gudia, nimeshukuru sana salamu zako.
Mhm,
Nadhani uko mzima na uko katika hali ya afya mzuri,
mm,
na wengine wengi wale wanatutazama kote ulimwenguni. Tuko salama na
yeah,
tunashukuru Mola kwa siku ya leo tupatie hii nafsi tujadiliane kuhusu siasa zetu za kule Afrika
mm.
na Kenya.
Labda kama tujaendelea, mi nataka nisikie tu wazo lako, najua kwa sababu najua tunataka kuingia katika mazungumzo ya leo,
Mm,
na hii ni kutokana na yale ambayo yalisemwa na waziri wa fedha leo alisema, hii alikuwepo jana, alisema na namnukuu,
mm,
waziri wa fedha John Mbadi amesema yuko tayari kuongoza jamii ya Wajaluo kufuatia kifo cha aliyekuwa waziri mkuu Raila Odinga. Akasema anastahili kuwa msemaji mkuu wa kisiasa wa jamii hiyo. Vilevile alimfananisha Odinga na Musa wa Biblia aliyeongoza watu wake lakini hawakuwahi kuingia nchi ahadi. Mbadi alisema jamii ya Wajaluo lazima waingie nchi hiyo chini ya uongozi wake.
unajua hii siasa ya ODM na succession
Mhm,
politics ile vile inaendelea kule katika chama cha ODM.
mm.
Wajua bwana Raila hakuacha mikakati mzuri sana ya uongozi
Ama ya
ya
urithi.
ya naweza sema ni uongozi. Alikosa kuwa watu wa ODM haswa
Mm,
hawakuwa wanatarajia ya kuwa kutakuwa na wakati hawatakuwa na kiongozi ule anaitwa Raila Odinga.
mm,
Hawakujipanga. ODM haikuwa na structure ile mzuri ya kuonyesha huyu mzee asipokuwa tutajiendelesha aje kama chama. Ndio napata kila kiongozi iwe ni Bi Gladys Wanga anatafuta mwelekeo wake, ikiwa ni John Mbadi wanaona kuna nafasi, ikiwa ni Oburu Odinga anaona kuna urithi, ikiwa ni Winnie Odinga anaona chama ni yetu, ni ya baba yangu. So watu wengi, ikiwa ni Ali Hassan Joho anaona ni wakati wetu wa kuongoza, kwa sababu mimi nimekuwa deputy pale. Ikiwa ni Simbarati anaonyesha ubabe wake, anaonyesha ni sasa mimi nimetosha kuchukua, kwa sababu ODM saa hii iko na wamechanganyikiwa, naweza sema hivyo, lakini baadaye watapata njia mzuri. Ukiona Babu Owino pia anaangalia ni nafasi yake, but ile shida iko pale ni vijana hawana nafasi katika ile chama cha ODM ya uongozi wa juu, hawana nafasi na hawajagundua ya kuwa hii siasa tunaenda ya 2027 vijana ndio wako wengi na ndio watakuwa na ushawishi mkubwa kwa siasa wakati wa 2027. Kama watafikiria na watajadiliana kwa undani, waweze kuzingatia vijana wale wako katika mstari wa mbele, kina Babu Owino, kina Sifuna, wale wamekomaa, lakini wako katika mstari wa mbele, kuangalia zile sera zile ziko afadhali kwa vijana. Hizi vyama ukiangalia vizuri sana, umeuliza swali ya Bwana Mbadi. Kumbuka Bwana Mbadi alikuwa ni mwenyekiti wa ODM wakati mwingine. Mbadi pia alikuwa anauania ugavana wa chama cha ugavana kule Homa Bay katika tikiti ya ODM, na baba alimshauri awachie Gladys Wanga, na baadaye baada ya ushauriano akapata hiyo kiti ya kuwa waziri wa fedha. Mbadi pia amekuwa katika siasa kwa muda mrefu, siasa hii ya Luo Nyanza, amekuwa katika kwa muda mrefu kama mjumbe wa Suba. Naweza sema ako na experience na amefanya kazi kwa ukaribu sana na bwana Raila Odinga, na pia ana ushawishi mkubwa sana katika jamii ya Wajaluo, especially wale wanatoka katika zile sehemu za Homa Bay. Ile shida ile iko katika kiongozi kama Mbadi ni kutoka jamii ya Wajaluo, ana ushawishi gani ya beyond Luo politics, ana ushawishi gani? Utapata hao viongozi wote wale wako katika ODM sahii, wale wamejiweka katika mstari wa mbele, hawana ushawishi beyond borders za Luo Nyanza. Hawawezi uzika wakienda kule Kiambu, wakienda kule Western Kenya, wakienda kule sehemu za coast, tuseme hawezi kuwa na ile ushauri ama ile nguvu Raila Odinga alikuwa nayo. Na ndio maana unaona wanaleta kitu moja inaitwa inaitwa the dark spirit, wanaita juogi, something like that. Ati kuna kitu hiyo spirit lazima ichague kiongozi, vitu zingine za kishetani hivi, unajua. But mi nasema kiongozi unaweza muona, unaweza ona kiongozi ule anaweza leta jamii pamoja na akaunganisha jamii ya Wajaluo pamoja, unaona. Katika hao viongozi wote wanatosha. Mbadi anatosha, Oburu anatosha, isipokuwa ni mzee. Unaona uzee pia iko hapa. Kuna watu wale mimi naona ya kuwa katika hii siasa tunaenda 2027, hiyo miaka hiyo wamekaa katika siasa, hawana ushawishi kwa ile mrengo ya vijana na wafanyikazi, hawana ushawishi kabisa. Kwa hivyo ukishafika miaka 85 wewe utakuwa na ushawishi gani kuangalia mambo ya kiuchumi? Utakuwa na ushawishi gani kuangalia ni sera zipi utauzia vijana? Utakuwa na ushawishi gani na wewe mwenyewe saizi huwezi hata jua, saa zingine unapoteza fahamu, hujui mahali uko. Ukiambiwa uko Nairobi unadhani uko Kisumu. Kama watu kama Bwana Uburu, wale wanafaa kukaa kando kidogo, waachie vijana nafasi waongoze, na hiyo ndio shida iko pale ODM.
Alright. Asante sana. Naona ndugu yangu Joseph pia amewasili. Labda wewe nikukuulize tu kwa sababu ukipata yale waziri wa fedha alizungumza ni kwamba alizungumza kama anaona kwamba ametosha mboga kuwa kiongozi ama msemaji mkuu wa jamii ya Waluo. Labda we kwako ni kiegezo gani ama tuwezi sema kwamba ni vitu gani labda wewe unaweza angalia ama sifa gani ambazo wewe unaweza angalia ndio mtu akue kwa hali nzuri ya kuwa kiongozi ambao anaweza zungumza kwa Wajaluo, akue kama msemaji wa Wajaluo, kwa sababu kulingana na yeye anaona ametosha. Kuna labda viegezo ambao tunaweza weka tuone kwamba hichi na hichi umepita. Mzalendo, umenisikiza kweli?
Ulikuwa unaongea na Joseph ama hiyo ilikuwa ni swali langu ama ni
Ni
Joseph?
swali lako, swali ni lako kwa
Hebu
sababu
rudia kaka, nilikuwa nadhani unaongelesha Joseph.
Joseph, okay, Joseph ndamuuliza swali yake.
Aya,
Uh,
niulize swali.
Nakuuliza kwa sababu ukiangalia hayo matamshi ambayo nimemnukuu hapa, waziri wa fedha anasema kwamba yeye ametosha, ama labda wacha tu nirudie ndio hata kama Joseph pia
Urudia swali.
atakuwa anatoa maoni yake kulingana na mambo ndio hapa Joseph. Sasa karibu, wacha nikukaribisha na nikusomee na mnukuu waziri mkuu, not waziri mkuu lakini waziri wa fedha. Waziri wa fedha John Mbadi amesema yuko tayari kuongoza jamii ya Wajaluo kufuatia kifo cha aliyekuwa waziri mkuu Raila Odinga. Akasema anastahili kuwa msemaji mkuu wa kisiasa wa jamii hiyo. Vilevile alimfananisha Raila Odinga na Musa wa Biblia aliyeongoza watu wake lakini hawakuwahi fika nchi ya ahadi. Anasema hivyo. Sasa anasema Mbadi alisema jamii ya Wajaluo lazima liingie nchi hiyo chini ya uongozi wake, kwa sababu unajua siasa, tuseme kwamba baba alikuwa amewaahidi sana sana watu walikuwa wanaenda Kanani, na kwa kweli kwa msemo wake inasema kwamba watu hawakufika, lakini yeye anaona kwamba yeye ni kiongozi ambaye atahakikisha kwamba watu wamefika katika ile hadi aliyekuwa waziri mkuu Raila Odinga alisema. Sasa wewe nakuuliza, na Joseph pia ndamuuliza kwamba unaona sifa gani ambazo labda unaweza sema inahitajika kwa yeye ama wale ambao wanataka kuwa kama wasemaji wakuu wa jamii ya Wajaluo?
Wacha ni kwa vile uliniuliza hii swali. Waziri wa fedha ako na nafasi ya kuongoza Wajaluo au la? Naweza sema hivi, waziri wa fedha Bwana John Mbadi ako na nafasi, lakini asiangalie ile cheo ako nayo, kama hiyo kiti ya CS wa fedha kama waziri, kama ndio inamfanya awe kiongozi wa jamii ya Wajaluo. Waona, jamii ya Wajaluo inataka mtu ambaye amejenga ile inaitwa grassroots support. Ukiangalia huko nyuma, Raila Odinga hakukuwa kiongozi wa Wajaluo kwa urahisi. Hakukuwa kiongozi wa Wajaluo urahisi. Walimkataa kwa mara mingi wakati baba yake alikuwa hai, lakini baadaye wakamkubali na alipigana vita mingi sana. Kwa Mbadi hajapigana vita yote, ndio ili awe kiongozi wa Wajaluo lazima apigane makumbo kwa watu wale wanataka kama kina Babu Owino, kina Oburu Odinga, kina Winnie Odinga, na wale wengineo wale Wajaluo wangependa kina Opiyo Wandayi, na pia Mbadi hajaonyesha ya kuwa yeye ni mtendakazi. Wakati alikuwa kiongozi, wakati alikuwa mbunge kule Suba, hatujaona ile kazi ile inaonekana sana ile amefanya, ili tunaweza sema Mbadi sasa ametosha. Kama waziri wa fedha tunaweza sema amefanya kazi mzuri kulingana na zile standard zile zimewekwa pale. Yeye ni mtu ambaye naweza sema amefanya kazi vizuri kama waziri wa fedha kushinda vile alikuwa mbunge. Ingawaji tunazidi kukopa pesa mingi zaidi, hapo pia anakosa zile marks zile, tunaweza sema yeye ni mfanyakazi bora katika hiyo wizara ya fedha. Kenya inazidi kukopa pesa mingi zaidi kwa hii wakati wa Ruto, but I think ni kulingana na mahitaji ya nchi pia.
Okay.
Na unaangalia pia ni masuala gani Mbadi atakuwa anapigania. Raila Odinga alipigania masuala ya ukombozi, masuala ya usemaji, wa uhuru wa usemaji, ndio freedom of speech. So hatuwezi jua Mbadi atakuwa anapigania nini wakati huu, na ukiangalia sana yeye ile kitu anapigania ni Wajaluo waingie katika hii chama cha UDA ili hopefully, yani ili yao pia warudishe mkono 2032. Tuliona hiyo haiwezekani kwa siasa hainaga hiyo urafiki. Ukiuliza mandugu zangu wa Central wanaweza kukuambia siasa haina hiyo mkataba, na hiyo mkataba inaweza vunjwa wakati wowote. Waulize kwa nini Gachagua sasa yuko chini ya maji ama yuko gizani, na walikuwa na mkataba mzuri. Waulize Uhuru na Ruto walikuwa wanakuja na mauniform wamevaa, lakini sasa wakaenda pande tofauti. Kwa hivyo hii bargain ya ati sisi kama Wajaluo tunafaa kupiga kura mahali pamoja, hiyo ni kupoteza wananchi, kwa sababu siasa zinabadilika. Ni nani alikuwa anajua bwana Ruto atakuwa rais wa Kenya? Mwaka ujayo Wajaluo walipigia Raila Odinga kura kwa wingi sana. Hawakuweka kura yao zingine kule katika kikapu cha UDA, lakini baadaye ni Ruto akakuwa ni kiongozi. Wanaweza poteza tena 2027 wakapata kuwa ni Kalonzo ndiye atakuza kuwa rais wa Kenya, ama jamaa wote wa opposition anaweza kuwa rais wa Kenya. Kwa hii mambo ya kubagain kama kabila ni hao viongozi wanapoteza jamii kwa ajili ya kutafuta nafsi zao binafsi. Hiyo ndio naweza sema.
Okay, asante sana. Nimekupata vizuri kwa sababu umesema labda si kupoteza tu ama ni kupotosha, yani yale maneno wanaambia jamii unaweza pata si ya ukweli kwa sababu wanaangalia nafsi zao wao wenyewe. Kwa sababu ukisikia wanasema hapo tu katika venye alikuwa anazungumza, anasema tu itabidi tuingie kwa serikali ikifika miaka 2032 sasa sisi tutakuwa labda tutakuwa rais.
Ndio Ben, ndio nimewauliza hiyo swali. Bwana Gachagua na bwana Ruto walikuwa na mkataba, waliingia hawakuwa nayo.
Hawakuwa na mkataba, lakini walikuwa ile mkataba ya kuaminiana, yani yule ambaye
Haya, bwana Raila Odinga na Kibaki
walikuwa na mkataba,
Ilifanyika aje na hiyo mkataba wao?
hawakusikilizana,
Ilifaulu?
haikufaulu.
Walikosana. Mambo ya kisiasa kuna mkataba bwana. Watu wawache wapiganie wa ile kitu watapata, wakipata wakosa, hiyo ni shauri yao bwana.
Okay,
Hakuna
asante.
mkataba ile Mbadi anapeleka jamii akijulua ati tukue na mkataba, na tumeona example mingi sana. Nani anakuambia ati Ruto ataona hiyo mkataba yenyu? Hakuna kitu kama hiyo. Siasa si kama inaitwaje hii,
ama tunaweza sema siasa ni kamare. Unaona ile kamare unapiga kamare,
pata potea.
pata potea.
Kuna ile ni vile nimekosa hiyo. Kiswahili ni ngumu kidogo, nimekosa ile wadi ya kusema. Yani unajua politics, you know, it's interesting that in you can't trust anybody in politics. Politicians are generally liars, they are not consistent. Ukiangalia watu wote Mbadi, wacha nikupatie example. Mbadi alikuwa anatukana Ruto namna gani? Gladys Wanga,
mara mingi sana
Raila Odinga mwenyewe marehemu, Ruto mwenyewe na hii yote Gachagua mwenyewe.
Ni mara mingi
ule mtu sijasikia matusi kwake katika siasa hii ya Kenya, na ukiwa nayo unionyeshe. Ni Kalonzo Musyoka.
Okay.
Kalonzo siasa yake haina matusi.
Okay, Mzalendo.
Lakini hao watu wote wametukana, wengine ni waganga, wengine ni wezi, wengine ni nani, na wanarudi wanakuja fanya kazi pamoja.
So inakuambia kwamba siasa haina adui. Thank you so much Mr. Mzalendo, and thank you so much Mr. Joseph, and those who are in the comment section. I can see Father Danny is with us, Gibson Corner, or Goodyear. Thank you so much for joining. I can also see Brenda Ayaga. I've shared with you the link. You can join and share with us what you have. So today, this morning, is Meet the Press, and Meet the Press, we usually have brief discussion on what happened during the week. And I just read one of them, which was about Mbadi saying that he's the best person positioned to lead the community of Luo, and that is one of them. But let me also give Joseph this opportunity to say hi to our viewers, and maybe Joseph, if you can make a comment on the issue of Mbadi now, and then we can go to the discussion of the day.
Yes, good morning. I hope you can hear me. Yesterday I had some problem with my gadget. I think that's why I changed it. You saw two of them.
All right.
So I want to say good morning to everybody. I can see Brother Mzalendo. It has been a long time since we met in the show. It's almost like 1 week. I want to greet Brother Ayaga. Ayaga tumekosana for quite a while. I think it's almost 2 months. Thank you. I think our brother Mzalendo tackled that question very well. The question about Badi, because there is one thing that I keep on asking in my mind. Badi said that he wants to lead the Luo community or the Luo region into government. Or he's going to be the one who is going to lead them. But you did not hear any problem with him saying that, and anything that was brought up by these other members that he's doing the wrong thing. But when Babu Owino stands and starts saying that I want to become the party leader, or I want to lead the Luo community, you see everybody standing and telling Babu Apana, you need to keep quiet, you need to hold your horses. So why is the double standard in all this? Because they could have also started asking Badi, why do you want this? Because they already have a party leader who is Oburu Odinga, who is sitting there as full in charge of the party ODM. And Mzalendo has tried to give you the whole view of what is really happening. Because you cannot just be that you're the CS of finance, now you have become all of a sudden that you are very strong in the community, that you can tell them which direction to take. I think ODM as general as we know, or the Luo community as we know, it has been a struggle. I came here and I told you that it was Raila did not take the Luo community just easy the way it was. He had to fight for it. And we know he had to fight for it with the likes of Akina Orengo, who at that time they were not in good terms. I also saw Mzalendo forgot to say Orengo, because Orengo has been a very nini in the ODM fraternity and the Luo politics. He has been a fighter. What has Buddy done? You need to ask that question. What has Buddy done for fighting for this position? Becoming a regional kingpin, or what they say, the one who is going to lead the community, does not opt for you to just say it in a boardroom or in a place, or you have called the media to say. Even Gachagua has been fighting for it. Uhuru Kenyatta did not give him that chance. I think for the Kikuyu community, only Uhuru got it in a silver platter, because for him, people, I think, accepted him very fast. But Kibaki needed to fight for this. Kibaki fought for it with Akina Matiba. So this is when you see people starting to say that I just want to become the Luo kingpin and regional. I want to lead the Luo region in terms of politics and take them to, I don't know where it's in Canaan. You really wonder, what have you done in terms of fighting for the region? So I think Mzalendo tackled this issue very well, and I don't have much to add. All I can say is I'll echo his words. It was very very good answers from him. Buddy need first to know that you cannot be given anything on a silver platter. That is what is done in politics. And politics, I want to echo what Mzalendo has said. There is no mkataba ndani ya politics. Hakuna mikataba. There is no mkataba inafuatwa. Kalonzo has been supporting Raila, but there is no thing you'll see that will be brought at to support Kalonzo juu amekuwa support Raila. No, it's just like that. Politics is about your interest at that time. Kalonzo interest is aligning with Gachagua at this moment, because he knows that he needs the votes from Mount Kenya, because Mount Kenya will not be producing a candidate in this national elections. So he needs the votes from them. That's why it's all about convenience and interest and making money. That is what is all about.
Wacha niongeze tu kitu moja. Let me ask. Let me just add on what my brother Joseph has said. Siasa za Wajaluo imekuwa ni siasa za Kenya, hazijawahi kuwa siasa za Wajaluo. In order to fit in Baba's footsteps, you have to look at the country. So Luo politics has been about the country and everybody what they are feeling. So that is where Baba was politically. So what we are doing right now, ni either we downgrade to hii siasa ya ubinafsi, sisi kama jamii. Unaona, sasa tumekuwa sisi kama jamii na mara mingi Kenya mzima imekuwa ikiangalia hii jamii ya Wajaluo. Sasa ile siasa inapigwa pale ni ati sisi Wajaluo hatuendi kwa barabara tena, unaona. But hiyo ndio ilifanya Raila Odinga akakuwa Raila Odinga. Na siasa ni kuonyesha msimamo wa wazi katika zile issues zile zina affect wananchi. Issues zile zina affect Mjaluo ndio issues zile zina affect wananchi. Lakini you have to present it in a way that it will also represent the view of Mkikuyu the view of Mkamba, the view of Masai.
All right. Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Mzalendo and Joseph, for your contribution. And if you're watching us for the very first time, we are streaming this podcast into two channels. That is Afrique 24 and Brother Benson Media. So if you've not subscribed in any of the two, you can do so that when we go live each and every morning, especially on Saturday, the YouTube will notify you and you become part of the conversation. I'm back at Mbadi told us openly that he's what he is today because at Baba made him. He has not qualified himself for anything in politics he has given. All right. Thank you so much. Ayaga, I hope you are listening to us in the background, especially when we read what the CS for Finance said yesterday. Maybe your take, then we can now go to the main discussion.
Okay. Good morning, everyone, and I hope all of you is well, the panelists and our viewers. It's a very chilly morning. I just want to say one thing about Mbadi. Mbadi has realized it too late, and they rushed with the endorsement of Uhuru. They never foresee. It is only the other day that a certain clip where Mama Ida endorsed Mbadi some days back in Suba has emerged. And I think that is the clip that Mbadi was reacting to. He is not even ready to take the leadership. They have messed. And that's why when you lose somebody you love, you don't act in emotional way. So when they act emotionally, those Toburu did things, rush with things, they never take time to calm down and do calculation. So for Mbadi, it will be very hard for him now to go and tell Buru, I'm also a leader who can lead. Number two, I think for you to be a party leader of a party called ODM and Luo nationally, and I want to say this, this election we are heading to in 2027 will be the most unique of all elections since 1963, since independence, because this is the only election that we will not have a Luo running as a presidential candidate and a Kikuyu running as a presidential candidate. So this election is very unique. It is even making some of the most prolific political analysts make things wrong. They make political whatever, then they discontract it. It is very hard for them. So it is a very unique election in the first time ever in the history of this country. We don't have a front runner from those two communities. So it is very hard for us, by the way. But what I can finally say about the issue of Mbadi is doing a work that I heard him also saying, quoting the Bible, that when the Israels were about to enter Canaan and Moses is now old, could not go, he went to a mount and look at and saw Canaan, but he was not able to reach there. But they sent people. So he was blaming, he was he was saying themselves as experts who are sent to go and see Canaan. But what he never said, or what he didn't say, that the same Bible says that when those people were sent there before as spies, they were sent with the 10 commandments. They were sent with a set of rules not to disobey and check always. So when Badi and Joho and Paranya, when we will send them there, we give them 10 points. So they should look at where they are. If the rule of law, the human right is being respected, are there no abduction and extrajudicial killing in the other side where they are? We need a 50 to be delegated to the county as a revenue from the government. We need a system where the government health system works. We need a system where the political parties are respected. If he has those 10 commandments that Baba gave them to go with in the other side, he should come back and tell us, these are the 10 commandments you gave us, this is what we have seen, and this is what is being done the other side. So it is good and safe for us to go. If those simple 10 points are not being realized, I think they are in a wrong place. That
All right.
might not be the Canaan we wanted. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Yaga. And thank you for giving us an observation that we did not look through that angle, whereby you say that the two major communities are not going to fill in their presidential candidates in 2027. And that is quite much interesting. Now, let us just clear with ODM, and then we can jump into another topic. Especially, there's so much that is going with ODM as a party. Remember, this week, one of the news that took the headlines of ODM was about the petition by the live members who are challenging the due process for especially election for the party leader. Then they gave 30 days. If it is not resolved, then we don't know what is going to happen. The same ODM today, Sifuna did not join the Kasipul people to campaign for their candidate, especially Boyd Were, and he was in Kisii. That is something that also we observed. So maybe to start with you, Mzalendo, because you are somebody who is coming from Homa Bay County, you can explain to us what is happening, seeing also the deputy governor, who is an ODM member, is supporting an independent candidate going against the party. What is not happening here? And give us more details on what you think is going to be outcome in Homa Bay.
Thank you once again. I think, let me tell you, I provoked this conversation on 19th. And this is what I wrote on my page on 19th. Gladys Wanga has successfully tamed these men from Karachuonya. Apart from Odoyo Widi and the deputy governor, the rest have coiled their tails under their legs. Even with the best opportunity in Kasipul, they cannot raise their voices to condemn the violence and to support a candidate. They are too afraid. The deputy governor is under attack and his men are silent. Wake up, you bunch of cowards, and protect the deputy governor. Now, you know, that was on 19th when I wrote that, and many of these leaders are my friends. Some of them came attacking me. Some of them said, "We are not afraid. We will be there." A few days later, they were in Kasipul. This is after a conversation with the DG. We had a conversation with the DG at some point 2 weeks ago, and you know, the deputy governor for Homa Bay was the MP in that area called Kasipul. There is a lot of bloodshed happening in Kasipul, and you'll wonder whether these people are vampires or cannibals feeding on human beings. There's a lot of blood in Kasipul, and it has been the trend, and it has to stop. So this is the best opportunity to stop the bloodshed in Kasipul. And the only way to stop the bloodshed in Kasipul is to stop the ODM candidate from getting that seat. I think Sifuna, not only Sifuna, all the sitting MPs in that area, apart from Kaluma, have not campaigned for Boyd Were in these last stages. So it tells you a lot. The senator for Homa Bay has not been there. He was supporting a different candidate in the nomination. And know that the nominations were bungled. They were rigged in favor of this young man who was not fit to be the MP for Kasipul.
Yeah.
The fact that the father was a member of parliament does not mean that they have to inherit that seat. Now, these are the double standards that people are saying are happening in ODM. When Winnie Odinga wants to claim want to claim leadership in ODM, they tell him this is not, it can't be inherited. But in Kasipul, they are inheriting that position to give it to the son of the late Ongonowere. But the sad part about it, and this is my appeal to the community, politics is not about war. You must not kill somebody to be a leader. And uh, you know, the kind of politics that we used to see our fathers practice is policy, and it is seduction. You seduce me to vote for you.
Mhm.
Yeah, it is just seduction. It is calling upon the community that these are my policies. But the issue, the things that we are seeing in Kasipul, when the father was alive, the late MP, people were hiding in his ceiling. The other time, I don't know, they killed Sijui who, so many stupid things, that you kill somebody because of this particular seat. And that tells you something about
Mhm.
these positions. Either these positions are so lucrative, they have got a lot of money, and nobody wants them to go to other people. They want, it's like a family property. All right, it is
Yeah.
like a family property. It is heredity. Hii kiti ikienda ni pesa tunapoteza. They have made it look like that. So it's like a matter of life and death. When you see all the ODM brigade, this is a region that ODM should win comfortably.
But now, Mzalendo, is there going to be impact, especially with the deputy governor offering support to him, including a candidate who was number 2 in the nomination, Ogada, to Otete, and some UDA officials now giving support to
Now,
Otete?
with my experience, let me tell you, and the people of Kasipul, and including Otete, you must listen to this. If you don't listen to this, you are going to lose the election. Not even lose, the election is going to be stolen from you. Na ukiona tu hivi.
Mm.
Most IBC officials who work in those particular areas, they have been there for a very long time. All right, they are used to being manipulated. Apart from the arrow who is going to come in the last minute during this by-election, the rest of the people who are going to conduct these elections are people who have been there. Wamezoea, kama ni wizi, wamezoea. Unanielewa? So I'd advise these guys, if for the candidates to have a free and fair elections, let them get outsiders to conduct these polls. Tafuta outsiders kutoka Central Province, IBC officials kutoka Kiambu ama Kirinyaga huko, bring them there to conduct these polls in Kasipul. You will see the outcry. ODM will say no, they want to rig the election. And what is emerging right now, as we are speaking, is that there's rumors that the candidate who is independent, who is Otete, my candidate, Otete is being rumored to be a UDA candidate.
He said
All
himself.
right.
He said
Yeah, he
because, like,
said he himself is a UDA candidate, but is independent. UDA
Mm.
does not have a candidate. They never presented any candidate in that by-election because of this handshake thing. So they didn't present any candidate. So in Kasipul, it is going to be very, very tricky. But Kasipul can be an equalizer. Kasipul is the only by-election that will streamline the Luo Nyanza politics. If
Mhm.
Boyd Were wins in Kasipul, the corruption in ODM by nominations will continue. They must learn a lesson. And the people of Kasipul, I am telling you, ODM must learn a lesson in Kasipul. We love ODM so much, but this is the only lesson that we must teach them, that bungling elections and stealing nominations is not acceptable.
All right, thank you so much, and let me come to Ayaga. Then I will come to Joseph. And Ayaga, I want you to look at this angle. The Sifuna himself not attending the campaign for Boyd Were, and this is his candidate, and also when he was in Borabu, he kind of like endorsed Matiang'i, saying that he is not in the broad-based government. What does this one speak to you as somebody also who is a member?
Oh, okay. I get you clearly. A warning was made early in early stage about this thing called broad-based candidate. That warning was made long time ago, and they were warned. The ODM people were warned not to include their candidates or to mention the word broad-based on their candidates. Not only in Kasipul, there is a by-election here in Nairobi, in Kariobangi North Ward. The ODM MPs who are very close to and neighboring that constituency, though the constituency is in Embakasi South, Embakasi North, yeah, we have our MP in Kariobangi, in Madari, called Anthony Lodge, has never gone to the ground to campaign for ODM candidate. We have another MP who is bordering that side from Ruaraka, called TJ Kajwang, has never gone there to campaign for ODM candidate. I only saw Wanga himself going to campaign for that man. So Kasipul can even be far. Sifuna is Nairobi governor, and he has never go to his region, which is Nairobi, to campaign for their own candidate. He has never appeared. Even George Aladwa, I think Aladwa went once the other day. So there is a very big problem. Wanga has been left for this thing called broad-based government, and that was, I can tell you, anything called broad-based has been left to Gladys Wanga. So any failure will be on one person, Gladys Wanga. And that is why you will not see the likes of Sifuna, Babu Owino of this world, even the MPs of Nairobi, even Kibera MP, even ODM has so many MPs here. Even Jalas has not gone to Kariobangi North and campaign for that MCA, that they have a candidate that is likely to win. So that's tell you, we can't go to the ground because we want to carry the failure. You know what happened to ODM in 2022 is a mistake that some of us are fearing to repeat. We will not carry the kank of a state, of a government that has lost ground, and we carry that. That one we will not do. And that one we have left for Gladys Wanga. The other day was in Purko. Let him try. We expect him to even go to Malava to campaign for Indakwa because that is their candidate. For us, that is not my candidate. I'm not in the UDA. So I think let me rest that case there. And I want to finally conclude with what my brother Mzalendo said about Greater Achonyo. I think what he wrote is the same thing I told you when Ngondowere died. I gave you, I think last year when Baba was even still alive, I gave you the picture of the Greater Achonyo and how they want power in Homa Bay. And you can't be a governor of that region minus the Greater Achonyo votes. Greater Achonyo, I think they have around 4 or 5 constituencies. They have 3. They have Kabondo Kasipul, they have Kasipul, and they have Rachonyo constituency. So I think that politics is very hard on the ground. That's why they are galvanized around Otete. Because, and even the UD official yesterday declared their support publicly for Tete. And Otete is being backed up by the PS. Though you have seen the PS in so-called broad-based candidate, but there is a very big and a very bad face to humiliate Wanga. And I think those are the reasons why Oburu Odinga might be feeling some few headaches and they want to take sabbatical leave in politics. Oburu is very well.
All right. Thank you so much, Ayaga, for your contribution. And Dan is asking, why did ODM fail to fill Yep.
I like what my brother has just said.
Yeah.
He has put it very very well, and and let me tell you, these are the voices that are the majority,
Mm-hmm.
and what people are not seeing, and Eric has put it so well. Wanga is being set up, but she cannot realize that she's being set up for failure.
And what is your take, maybe before I invite in Joseph, because I was seeing a campaign poster that included her photo on it. Did you see, from Kasipul Kabondo? And people were asking.
I think that I think she was condemned with that. I have not seen it lately, but I saw it at some point. Then Eric has also brought the issue of Kariobangi South, where we have this candidate called Oush. Oush is my friend. He has vied many times on ODM, and of course, ODM election nominations are always rigged. So this time, I thought that he might get that. He might win that the elections in Kariobangi. But with the way things are going, it's like that seat might go to another candidate, maybe a UDA candidate. I don't know whether UDA has got a candidate in Kariobangi, and that is a ward that is surrounded by DCP. Must be having a candidate there.
Okay.
In Kariobangi.
All
So
right.
that Kariobangi, we need to watch it very closely, and that those are the signs that people need to watch. Come, it's on 27th.
27th. Yeah,
What?
we will be here.
Yeah, watch this. The by-elections in Kasipul,
Mm.
the by-elections in Malaba, and this one in Kariobangi. In Kariobangi, it will tell you who is going to be the next governor for Nairobi.
For Nairobi. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mzalendo, for your take. And Joseph, are you there, my brother?
Yes, I'm here. I'm here.
All right, thank you so much, because we are seeing Sifuna coming out publicly and distancing himself from broad-based government, and even talked about Matiang'i. And publicly, in public, what does this one mean? Does it mean that Sifuna has reached a point whereby kama mbaya, or what is happening?
Thank you for that question, and I want to just talk about the question you had asked earlier, and I think Eric has been able to answer that question very well. But I want to talk about what Mzalendo said. IEBC needs not to bundle these by-elections, because if they bundle this by-election, it is going to have so much ramifications in the country, such that even in Homa Bay, it can bring war. So they need to know what they are going to do. If those officials in Homa Bay, most of them they have been. They're not in the right manner. They are corrupted. We need to get officials from other places, and that is why Brother Mzalendo was saying, just get these officials from very far regions and bring them to conduct these by-elections, because it will not be an easy task. This by-election is not easy, because these are the only times we are looking at an election after people demonstrated against this government. This is the first elections after this. The people in 2024 and 2025 demonstrated against this government. So they need to be very careful with what they are doing as the IBC Commission. They'll show if they have this by-election will also show for the IBC if they have the mandate or the capability to be able to handle the 2027 general election. So this is a catalyst for everything. It's for this by-election. It is carrying most of the things, all of the issues that are going to be addressed in 2027, whether in IEBC, whether in the United Opposition, whether in the government, whether in ODM. This is carrying the weight of the 2027 general election. Then I want to answer Father Dario by saying that ODM did not feel in Malava, because Malava, initially they had the memoranda with ODM that when UDA will not field a candidate in Kabondo Kasipur, and then they will not field a candidate in Malava. So I think that's why you don't have an ODM candidate in Malava. Then I think they were leaving it for UDA because, it's like somehow they are saying this is Musalia Mudavadi needs to bring for us this seat. For Kisii also ODM is supposed to be fielding, but I don't know why they did not field a candidate in Nyamira. But I'm seeing things are thickening there in Nyamira. Nyamira is things are thickening there. Yesterday I saw Matiang'i going there. Now let me come back to the question you asked me about Sifuna. I think Sifuna is conflicted in his thoughts. I think he's a person who now is at a road at a end decision. He has seen now kama ni mbaya mbaya, the way you have said it. There's Joho came and said kama ni mbaya mbaya, afadhali ODM ianguke iende na sisi. And then I had another guy said that afadhali ODM ivunjike kuwe vipande. I think now it has reached a position that it is not there is no turning back. He's tired. I think that's why even you don't see him in this in the campaign zone I don't not the way he was vocal before. I don't see Sifuna who was the way he was before. He was very vocal, and it's not only for Sifuna. It's happening with so many of the candidates who are feeling disadvantaged in ODM. Some of them, like Babu Owino. I've not seen even Babu Owino talking too much after the coast meeting that ODM had. I think those guys are feeling disadvantaged in the party. You know how Baba was carrying them in the party. I think Raila was carrying them to his heart, because you could see how Baba was protecting Sifuna from each and every attacks from coming from some of the members in ODM. I think that is the issue with Sifuna. Now I think he said, "Kama ni mbaya, let's take the war out," because even alitaja. The funny thing, alitaja Kalonzo, alitaja Matiang'i, and alitaja Natembeya, but he did not kutaja Gachagua. The funny thing is that I think he's. I think also he's trying to feature. The thing that they are saying is that they are telling Sifuna, we end up join Gachagua, we end up join Mtu wa Mashia. So that is what they are telling him. So you need to avoid that.
You see, somebody put this very interesting. I don't remember it is I think it is Millie Mabona. Now Sifuna is in a tight corner. Meaning that Nairobi is cosmopolitan. Now you don't want to be associated so much with this Luo politics, in Nairobi, and for one reason, they are losing ground and popularity among other communities, and this is not what people are saying. It is only me, Mzalendo, who is telling you the truth and the fact. Is that this community is losing the ground that it used to enjoy among other communities within the cosmopolitan towns. In the rural area, it is fine. But so long as you're associating yourself with the current government, then people are like, Wakamba are with Kalonzo, Kikuyu are either with Uhuru or Gachagua, Wakisi are either with Matiang'i. So there is a silent rebellion that people are not coming out in Nairobi to tell you, hey, sisi hatuko pande hiyo ya broad base, sisi tuko pande hii ingine. But they will see that with the outcome on the ballot on 27th. When the results will be announced, is when you will see that indeed Sifuna was right. Indeed, Babu Owino is very, very right. Indeed, you don't want to position yourself as a Luo leader. Babu does not really want to position himself as a Luo leader and lose the Kikuyu vote, and is aiming for the gubernatorial race. doesn't want to position himself as the Luo kingpin and lose support from the Luya community, who are also aspiring to lead
OD.
ODM.
Okay.
So
All
it
right.
is tricky for these guys. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Mzalendo, for that. And I just want to quote something that was this is what Mutai Nguni wrote on his X handle. This was 1 day ago. Unless a grain of wheat dies, it does not bear fruit. That is, and he quotes the Bible, John 12, chapter 12, verse 24. ODM must die for it to live, not in shame, but in strategy. It must bury its old myths and glory to save the spirit. ODM must commit suicide at a zero option, and it is rebirth must be led by young Turks. Young Turks, and anauliza iko swali. That is according to Mutai Nguni. That is what he wrote on his X handle. And it has got almost over 488 likes and 86 reposts, and people are interacting with him. Somebody say, absolutely, Prof. Mutai, spot on. Political parties aren't mausoleums. You don't build the future with leaders who still think the Nokia 3310 is modern technology. ODM cannot pretend to be immortal while running on a political fossils of bygone era. The young tax might show. So that is what is, and we will keep on monitoring what is taking place in ODM and how the leadership will solve the challenges that they are going through right now. Remember, there's a petition that also was filed to the election board of ODM by live members, and they gave ultimatum of 30 days. We are waiting to see what will happen. The other day also we saw a story that was carried in one of the dailies talking about the Jaramogi family. So there is so much that is going on right now, especially concerning ODM and the family of the Jaramogi Oginga Odinga family. Will be here to follow up and everything that takes place or as events unfold. Now, let's now go to the part of the government. To start with you, Mzalendo, I want to know your view, especially when you're looking on how heavy resources has been mobilized by the government, especially in by-elections. That is, to be very specific, in Mbeere North and Malava. Why do you think, or what could be the reason why so much mobilization of resources in these areas by the government? Then we will also look at what the opposition, the United Opposition, are doing in these areas.
I think, Ben, this is why civic education is important for our country. The politician has realized that in order to win the votes, they have to deal with the stomach of the people. So they are doing that in Mbere. I saw Dennis Tumbi giving out tomatoes, giving out some goodies. So they're dealing with the stomach. They're not dealing with the problem.
Yeah.
They are dealing with the immediate solution, and the immediate solution is to satisfy these people with whatever goodies that we are bringing in here. But by and large, people are very, very cautious when they see such leaders who are bringing in foodstuffs and things like that in order to
Yeah.
coerce the community. If you are running a political party in this century, you need to have structures that help the people. Yeah, you need to have policies that are indeed helping the mamambogas at this particular time when by-elections are announced. And what they're doing is also very illegal, very, very illegal. In Kasipul, they are lining up people to give them money, which is so illegal. In Mbere, you are seeing the goodies being dished out during this time of campaign. That is coercion. That is coercion. That is trying to influence the outcome of the election using money, and that is not acceptable. You understand? That is not acceptable. They need people should let leaders should let the people elect the person of their choice, the person with the best policies, instead of pumping in a lot of money to change the thinking of that of the voters in those regions. It's not something that we want to see in our politics.
Okay, thank you. And if you look at some of the let's say like the amount of the money that has been used, it is alleged that almost over 200 million in a constituency, especially even if you look at the population. And remember, this is a constituency whereby the person who is campaigning over there was just appointed to be a CS, and the amount of money that is being used. What should the IBC do? Because like they've passed the required um, amount by law.
Yeah, the law is very, very clear when it comes to election finances, and that's why those laws were there, because there is some money that if you use overboard. The only problem is that these institutions are so toothless. They are they can't prosecute. They can't they can't ban any other candidate. They're just there to conduct the polls, and especially for candidates that are in UDA or in the broad-based government. There's nothing that can be done to them. Yeah, by IBC. IBC is one of the. Look at what has. Forget even about the money issues. Look at what has happened in Kasipul. I don't know how many people have died there. Have
But they
died,
were
and we
fined
are
like
just in.
they were fined like 1 million shillings.
Yes, they are fined like 1 million, and it's just okay. Now, is that really okay? Those candidates should have gone home. They should have investigated the matter, and if they find that the ODM candidate or the other candidate is the one who provoked this violence, they should have gone home. That is why we have the police and we have IBC. Now, look at the election finances. They are going over, and somebody is using to be an MP is using 200 million. Do you expect this person to work for the people?
He's going to get his money back.
Upu zingine tuko nayo Kenya nakwambia, and that is the reason why unapata hizi nchi za ng'ambo unapata ya kuwa the corporates, the people who are interested in your polls and policies wanakuja wanakuchangia, wanakuambia hey, brother Ben, sisi we will support you, but if we support you in turn, you will pass policies that are favorable to our company, whether it is on environmental issues, whether it is on infrastructure. This is what we want because we are transporters. We are the police union. We want to support your candidates because we want you to add more vehicles and all that. But we don't have that in our country. So some of these things need to change. MP anatumia 300 million. Haya, mwingine hata hajawahi kuwa MP, hata ujue hata kazi hajawahi fanya, ama pengine ako na kazi. Pesa ile huyu kijana mdogo Boy Duere anatumia kwa kampeni ametoa wapi? It is raining over millions and millions. Sasa huyu ukimpatia CDF atafanya nao nini? These are people who are just lining up to steal. Wewe unaambiwa na chama yako, wewe uende uibe, tumia ile pesa, unaweza enda uibe. Ukishaiba ukitumia ile, we iba.
Father Dan is saying here that 1 million is just like a change for some, for them, but to some of us, getting that million is not easy, Father.
Me, I'm telling you, Ben, if you have been in campaigns, mimi have been there, I can tell you for a fact. You're asubuhi, you go in. I have to give you an instance. Unatoka nyumbani, kabla utoke, before you just leave your gate there, umetoka hivi, you are preparing to go for a rally. Before you leave that gate, already you've spent about 20,000-30,000. Haujaenda mahali unaenda.
So
Angalia, the MCA in Karenya has used 150 million. What are you talking? Angalia, ati MCA ametumia 150 million.
And if he has used just if he has used that 150 million, look at the
So
population.
I was with this governor. I was with this governor in a campaign trail. So tumeingia chopa. I will not mention his name. So kufika akapiga lap ina mahali kulikuwa na rally, akapiga lap yake. Now hiyo lap inamaanisha ana villagers now are being called to assemble in a certain point. Pale hii chopa ikizunguka mahali ita land, everybody will be there. And unfortunately it was on a market day, so everybody was there. By the time that chopper was landing, people who were coming from 20 kilometers sijui nani had already reached there. Ndege
Yeah.
inafika tu hivi chini, uwanja imesha ja. So si rally naenda, mimi najua niko na wasiwasi, nasema huyu candidate wangu leo ameanguka, kwa sababu hii pesa yote ya watu, unajua huko mashinani ukiona crowd au angalia hata sera utauza namna gani, unaangalia pesa ngapi niko nayo kwa
mfuko.
Yeah. Ukiona
Okay.
crowd ujue ni pesa iko ile uko nayo, ndio wataenda kama wako satisfied. On
All
this
right.
day, this guy on just one rally in a market center, he used almost 400,000 in one day.
Yeah.
Yani tu hiyo ni, na alikuwa anaenda mahali ngapi? Mahali kama 5.
Hiyo ni pesa mingi sana.
Hiyo ni pesa mingi.
All right. Let me invite Ayaga, because Ayaga want you to look at this in a different perspective, and in terms of the voters who will be voting, and looking at their condition to an extent whereby we've talked about it. A member, a governor, Her Excellency, a governor who is the head of the county, is distributing the lollipop to the residents just in the name of campaigning. And also we've seen what we call the political PR, where the politicians themselves go to an extent where they organize for this tea breakfast, they go to these family homes and share with them a meal, which I know, because they're very scared of their life, somebody has to go ahead of time to prepare those just for their safety, because I know you cannot just walk in a home that you've never walked before and just start eating as a politician. Is not They're usually very cautious. People like us can do, because like we are not buying for anything. And how can the voters themselves change this and make sure that when they're voting the right way, but not the theatrics that are happening in the political or during these campaigns? Ayaga. Did I lose Ayaga? Joseph, maybe you can go as we wait for Ayaga.
Okay, I'm here.
All right, sir.
You can hear me?
Very well.
Okay. What I want to say, PR is part of politics. Those are the things that when doing politics in South Sahara, north of River Limpopo, it will not cease. It may take time to end. So PR will be part of our politics. Number two, I predicted long time ago, when even Raila Odinga was still alive, that high chances of the governor of Omabay being a one-term. Many people really disagreed, and now it is coming to light, not by coincidence, but the same way the spiritual being of my part talks, that I saw it. The rate of PR she was doing from the word go, she was somebody on a mission, and that mission was too much in a hurry. In a way, she has made a lot of mistakes, and I don't have a problem. Governor giving lollipops to the people. It is just an insult to the people because these are the people you ought to have empowered. Yeah, it is an insult. These are the people you need to give empowerment to. You need to take their kids to schools. You need to empower them in terms of business. You need to initiate some programs that elevates a little bit their livelihood status. But going down to give them lollipops, like, because I remember the last time I was given a lollipop by a politician, I was in around class 2, by a certain politician called Malo Malo. He used to compete with Raphael Tuju in 202 in Rareda constituency. He was a very great politician. So that is a very great insult. Anyway, but that is then, that is the thing we need at that time, because as a lower primary, you don't need a land or something big. So it is very bad. So what is going on in ODM specifically? There is the silent majority is many. The people who are silent in ODM, they are very many. If you take experts that have been up, Baba managed this succession in ODM very easily. He just moved the people who could have rushed to inherit him. And you can look, Mbadi was the chairman, he removed him. Paranya and Joho was the deputy, he removed them. To the senior most, who could have claimed to be now the powerful, the minority leader, and they plugged him. So he brought a new leadership that is not even greedy for power. Look at even the deputy president, that are deputy party leaders that are here in ODM today. Look at Simbarati. He's not even agile to be a party leader. Look at the Mombasa guy. He's not even bothered to be a party leader. Look at Ososi. He's not even in a rush to be a party leader. So Baba managed this thing. And that's why Winnie himself said, let us go back to the people. Because every time you will go back to the people, time to time, even Raila Odinga, when things used to be tough for him, he used to go back to Kibera, his political bedrock in Kamukunji. He used to go back to Kamukunji, talk to people. Even when he was in the prime minister of this land, we remember when Kibaki start to do some things that are not in the agreement. What could Baba do? He go to Kamukunji, calls a rally there, and he say, those people have given me Nusumukeka. Prime minister anaenda mahali, chief hakuna red carpet. He used to go back to the people. So there is time to time you go back to the people. But this boardroom kind of system that these people, the Wanga side and the experts want to drive at onto is another big problem to them. They will fail. Another thing I want to talk about, Raila Odinga was Raila Odinga. You cannot compare yourself with Raila Odinga. I was at home and somebody told me, Raila Odinga is the only thing that God gave us to use us the way you want. But anybody who is coming after him cannot just push us at we are going to the government and we go. We will ask you, we go how? You don't just push us. So it will be a little bit hard on the current leadership of ODM, and even they might even win. And I told you yesterday that Magarini, the DCP candidate, the guy who won and this election was stolen, is in a upper chance, unless there is something that happens. And I told you in Mbeere, unless something urgent happens, the UDA will win. And there's something happened. You can look at the papers today. I think the Standard just confirmed what I was saying. I told you, unless something happened, and Standard reacted very fast to my comment, and they did the Lord's work. And I asked myself, is Moi not part of Broad-Based? And I also told you in Kasipul, I don't know who will win, but I will be there to witness a history. In Ugunja, there is no campaign. Even Orengo is not campaigning for that guy in Ugunja. That guy has been popular. The guy has been on the ground. It is only the rigging system that have been favoring Opiyo Wandayi. That's why you don't even see Orengo himself campaigning for that guy. Even my MP from Raila, are not going to campaign for him. That guy will take the ground without any campaign.
Oh, Ayaga. Sorry. Let me just ask you, because we've not so much looked or talked about Ugunja, but what we saw was violence the other day. Maybe an overview of what is taking place, especially in Ugunja. What can you share with us on the information that you have in terms of who is the favorite of the people?
Ugunja ODM did a good nomination, and they gave a popular candidate. But there is emergence of David Ochieng with his MDG party. David Ochieng want to conquer both Ugenya and Ugunja because those are Ugenya. It is only the name. The constituency is divided into two. It is the entire Ugenya. So David Ochieng want to conquer there. And he's doing a lot's work down there. And that's why he's silent. He's not seen anywhere. He's just on the ground. Because that is his kind of politics. But in Ugunja, there is no big deal, because I know for sure the ODM guy will win. Because he was a good man. He has been on the ground. He has been loyal to the party. It is only that Baba and these ODM officials have been favoring Wandayi. And that's why it is only Wandayi who can take Akina Murkomen, not Murkomen, the Kericho senator and Kimani Chungwa to go and campaign there. You don't see Luo MPs, ODM MPs, or even Orengo going there to campaign for that guy. That guy himself can win that ground without any problem. But in politics, you can't rule anything. Anything is possible because we are in a very quagmire state. So those violence are expected mostly towards the age where we are heading election.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Yaga, for your observation and your briefing on us, especially on Ugunja, that we've never actually, in this platform, we've never looked at Ugunja. And maybe, Joseph, you are the best person at least to maybe share with us what is happening, especially in Mbeere North, because we are seeing Mbeere North, there's a lot of resource mobilization, especially from the government side. And as we speak today, that candidate, if you look at the standard, there's also some dossier that is on standard on the candidate of UDA about supply of some equipment at Kenyatta National Hospital. So that you can go to standard and maybe read and know about the guy. But Joseph, there's the mobilization of resources, yes, and there's also the camping of the opposition. Why do you think, I know we've talked about it for so many times, why do you think it's this place is at stake?
Thank you. I heard people talking about lollipops. I think the governor was ready to pop. She was feeling lolly, and then she wanted to pop. But one thing I'm going to talk about Mbeere. Mbeere will not talk about Mbeere with the newspapers. The newspapers can write whatever they want to write, Brother Benson. They can, that is their finding. But let me tell you, there is one thing that happens in where I come from. I think people talk in one voice, and whether we can talk about the funding that is being done in Mbeere or in these constituencies, what they are doing, and I remember that if there is most of the members of parliament who had funds, it is the Jubilee members of parliament in 2022. They had a lot of funds to do their campaign. The likes of Akina. It's called this guy who was Kanini Kega. The likes of Kanini Kega, the likes of Gunjiri Wambogo, they had all the funding they needed to do their campaigns because they were being funded by the then President Uhuru Kenyatta, who we know had resources in doing these things. But what happened during the election? during the election. I think they were given dust that they have never seen. That is what is going to happen in Mbere North. That one I can categorically tell you that guy named Muhamudende will be left with a lot of votes. That is what I'm telling you. Today we'll see. The by-election is being done on Thursday. It's only 4 days to go now. And the people from there, Brother Benson, if you like to know about them well, you can know with just go in social media sometimes and read what some of them. You know me, I know the people coming from Embu, because the difference, you know, Kikuyu and Mberes North, some of them have some simple, the names differ, so you can know the people who are coming from there, and you can really tell how they are feeling about the candidature of Karis and Wamudende. You know, initially even the name Wamudende, so Brother Dan, they are laughing. You know why we are always laughing about that name? That name is, if you know the meaning of that name, it will make you laugh all the time. That's why you hear even some comedians are making money out of it, because I don't know if I say it on live, okay. Because it is. So people might think that Wamudende is gaining popularity because he's speaking. It's because people are making fun of him. You know, we know what it always means, and that's why you hear when they are saying tutatengeneza barabara Wamudende, tutatengeneza hospitali Wamudende. They know what they are saying. They know clearly what they are saying at the end of that statement. So this is a do or die for Rigathi Gachagua also, and it's a do or die. You know that seat was a DP seat.
Yes,
it was a Democratic Party seat. It was not even a UDA seat. The person who entered through that was through DP. I think Ruku. So yes. I think he's trying himself to galvanize so that he can be able to win that seat. But you know, the issue with Mbere North is not even about the candidacy or what the newspapers are saying. It is about what is happening with the current regime that is in Embu. Has the current regime in Embu, under Cecily Barire, been able to address the issues that are affecting the people in Embu? Because Mbere is in Embu. Have it been able to address those issues? Yesterday I saw there was a fire in a place called Kianjokoma. And although they sent the ambulances, if you heard the people what they were saying that the ladies just there giving sweets, but even an ambulance will take time before it goes to take out the fire. So I'm telling you, this one is not even about the candidacy of these guys who are even. What time do they have? They only have 1 year to 1.5 years to become MPs in those particular region. Then also, if you look at Karis Moso has become an MCA. He has been able to campaign. He has campaigned and he has been able to win a seat. He was an MCA. But if you look at this guy, Wamudende, the problem with him is people are taking him as an outsider. Yes, he comes from Beren, but most of his things they have been said is from, he comes from Kilifi. He has been saying all his time in Kilifi. So how will he be able to come and address the issues of Mbere North residents when he's not even there most of the time? Okay. And that way, that is a major. You know, we can look at it wholesomely in the Gazette, but let me tell you, the people in my place, they only take small bites. You see, small bites. They don't need you to give them all this, and nobody lied to you that there is Mount Kenya East and Mount Kenya West. I think you're going to see it now fully fledged in this election that is coming. There is no division between those people. I stay in the middle of them, and I can clearly tell you they are very angry. And the other thing that is making them angrier even is because of the promises that they were given by the government under Ruto. They are not feeling at all like the government has reached out to them. They are feeling like the government abandoned them. Then another salt to the injury, they even removed their deputy, Rigathi Gachagua, who themselves, you know, they are supporting. Some of the people are supporting. So it has so many issues. Not only the issue of is a candidacy between Karis and this Wamudende. It's not about that. So majority of it is those small bits I'm giving you. And Baride is not helping Wamudende case. She's even trying now to damage the case of Wamudende. If I think he went at it alone with, if Wamudende went at it alone, I think he could have been a force. He could have been a force in these by-elections. But the moment these guys entered on top of that, the people like CS Ruku is a CS in the government of William Ruto. But if you look at this constituency, which is Bere North, you can really say there is a disconnect between the leadership of the national government with them. You look at the roads, you look at what is happening in Bere North. There is a very big difference. I think Bere has been, most of the year has been left out in the nation building, I think, and also in infrastructure and so many things. So this is playing out in a battle which is not for the candidates. The candidates are not going to measure so much. It's just because the Wamudende thing. If you hear people saying Wamudende is not that he's been spoke as a person who is ni kuwatu wanapenda jina, ni jina yenyewe inachekesha watu, and that's why you see the comedians are making fun of it. I know, but Father Dan knows why we are saying like that. That's why you can see him laughing here all the time. He had seen the phrase there, and he has said that he has given his brother, I think, 100 likes, because they are making joke of it. It's not about him winning the by-election. That is just a phrase. But I'm telling you, this by-election in Bere is all about delivery of services for the people of Bere North, which the county government of Embu has been unable to do. And there is another guy called Kiremba. There's called Karemba. Karemba is a guy who is an MP in Runyenjes. He's a guy who was loved so much dearly. But me hearing them saying that even Karemba is going to go one term, brother, it made me even get shocked. Because that guy was Didi Nyoro. You know Didi Nyoro? He was a Didi Nyoro in Embu.
Okay.
You know, even yesterday when they went to the Muranga, the one I was telling you, they drew a tear gas. You remember? I told you they drew a tear gas on the petrol station. When they were asked by these radio presenters, who are you going to vote for, the MPs, they were being called by name. Some of them, they were cheering, some they were booing. But when you heard the name of Didi Nyoro, they cheered. So bringing back to Embu, Karemba was a very good candidate, but I think him sitting with the government, with the government of UDA and William Ruto, I think it has really damaged his character, and many people are feeling disadvantaged. So many of them are saying we want to remove this yellow fever. Lazima yellow fever itoke. So I think Yaga there has misunderstood. I think but maybe he will see the clear picture. Those guys, they talk in the ballot. The best thing with Mount Kenya residents, they talk in the ballot. They don't talk with you. You may do anything you want. And that's why you hear 95% of the MPs in Mount Kenya, they don't come back. And even there's a constituency in Katundo North, the one Edija Kururia is, they never come back. Even him has said, I'm not going even to campaign. I know you're not going to vote for me. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to finish my term. And so many of them. But it's not a wonder you see a governor giving lollipops. There is another woman representative called Wamurada who was giving cakes. He was cutting cakes and throwing to people like their birds. So this is not things that have not been seen in Mount Kenya. And also I saw Itumbi giving sukuma wiki 2 batches and onions. So it's not a wonder.
All right, thank you so much,
All right.
Mr.
Let me just add something there before you wind up this topic of Mbere. Maybe my brother Joseph, I like what you said. Some of your points are very much correct, but maybe you are ignoring one factor that perhaps the people of Mbere could be looking at. Mbere, for the first time in the history of our politics, is having a cabinet secretary. And Ruto did that specifically for the people of Mbere. He removed Ruku. He removed not removed. Ruku was appointed. Ruku was the MP.
Yes.
Ruku was appointed. Ruku was appointed the CS, a full CS. They've never had a full CS. So for since independence, remember. So this is one factor that some people are looking into. Now, to tell you that the situation was even trickier, Rigathi Gachagua had a candidate that wanted to run, but they saw that this would split the votes in that particular region. So they decided to support the candidate for DP. So
Mhm.
this is this election in Mbere, why the government is investing a lot in it. One, they have already given that region a CS, and secondly, they don't want to lose that particular vote because it will be very shameful for the government of William Ruto to lose in Mbere. And he did it strategically so that he can win that voting block from that region of Embu by giving them that position of CS. So many people would not look at it that way, but that is the politics that is playing around in the Mbere area. Rigathi Gachagua is fighting very, very hard, and the former Attorney General, they're fighting very hard to see that they win this particular seat. If Gashagua's team prevails in this seat, that will be a warning sign for William Ruto in Central Province that he
Mhm.
cannot get anything in Central. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much. And we are remaining here with Western Kenya, where to yesterday, the good percentage of the United Opposition leaders toward the Malava constituency, and they went there to campaign, and the reception was massive. And this begs the question, especially when you look at their leaders. You look at Mudavadi, you look at Moses Wetangula. How is this one sitting with them, Mr. Mzalendo? Then I will come to Joseph.
About what, Ben?
About the
Malava.
campaigns of Malava, because like if the United Opposition win it, especially the candidate of Panyako, who is a Eugene candidate, and also we saw Malala and Natembea buried their hatchets, and now they are working as a unit. What does it mean for the influence of Mudavadi and Wetangula?
Um, you see, Mudavadi lately has been under siege, and same as Wetangula. I think they play the gentleman's politics, and the gentleman politics is not the politics being played by people like Malala. Malala, these are strategic young people, people like Netembea. They're trying to find the Luya unity, which has been very, very elusive. And you also see Luya influences like the people who could influence election results. Oparanya, who is also a cabinet secretary in Ruto's government, has not really been seen on the ground or supporting their candidate. So this election for Malava is a litmus test for Wetangula and Mudavadi. And Western region is one of the regions that William Ruto is looking for as an alternative running mate come 2027. So Western region is taken very, very seriously. That is why Ruto's point man is called Farouk Kibet
Rookie bet.
is camping in Malava. Is camping in Malava full time. Now, for Natembea and Eugene to bury the hatchet, that is a plus.
No,
A plus
Natembea and
for,
Malala.
yeah, Natembea and Malala to bury the hatchet. You see, Malala and Eugene are working together. That is true. And Malala and Eugene are working together. So Netembea was seen at one point by Malala as somebody who is a spy within their movement. But for them to bury their adjutant, to bury their differences and bring the Luya unity together is something that that Netembea has been dreaming about, and people like Malala and Eugene have trying so hard so that they can bring the Luo unity together. That gives them a better bargaining power while they are with the UDA. So the reason why I'm bringing the issue uh, of DCP and their candidate and them not supporting William Ruto is very, very simple. And the will and the Luya unity, and it is the similarity is this, and this is what will make a sharp difference. When you are outside the government, William Ruto needs you badly. William Ruto needs Eugene Wamalwa more than he needs Mudavadi or Wetangula. William Ruto needs Netembea on his side more than he needs Wetangula on his side. You understand? Because these are people who are already in the government. That is why for ODM on the other end, when you are in government, you don't have any bargaining leverage. When you are outside the government, you are powerful. William Ruto today needs to talk to Rigathi Gachagua more than any other person. If William Ruto akiona simu missed call ya Gachagua hawezi lala. Unajua hivyo? Hawezi lala, atamtafuta nakuambia. William Ruto akiona simu ya Gachagua sahii amempigia miss call aione, na ni usiku wa manane saa 9, atachukua chopa amwambie uko wapi, uko wapi kunive. So you don't have that kind of bargaining power when you are in government. That is why we are telling people like Kinambadi what they are negotiating for is bogus. You have, and the Raila learned the art. Wamalwa, the young Wamalwa, Eugene has learned the art. Netembea has learned the trick because they have been in the system and they know how it works. When you are out of the system, you will get a handshake because of what you can bring. You get my point. The first person to if Ruto wins in 2027, the first person to have an handshake with William Ruto will be who?
Rigathi Gachagua.
Be Rigathi Gachagua. Take this to the bank. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much.
Brother Benson, I like how Mzalendo gaslights everything. Ni lazima ataweka gas kwa.
Right.
Yeah, I wanted to answer before we go very far, Brother Benson. I wanted to answer Eric Kayaga, and he has said that Rick G is camping in Malava, in Bere North. He's not living Bere North. He's camping there. I think he's saying Bere isn't easy. I'm not going to lie to you. Bere is not easy. Bere is a war zone, because even Kindiki himself has seen is a war zone. He's camping there. He has said he's going to live there 28. That is a war zone. You are fighting between government machinery. Do you think fighting government machinery in a by-election is easy? It's not easy. You have, the best thing they have, Kindiki, they have money. That is what they have. Yeah. But Gachagua, I think he does not. Resources. The resources are very careful. You need to use them very careful. If he's going to go for the general elections with these guys like Kalonzo, he needs to use his resources very careful. That's why you see. But the government has resources. If it needs to use its machinery in anywhere, it will use even the police force machinery. It will use all what is under its disposal. So for him camping there, I cannot fault him, because It is a very tight race. Mbeere North, I'm telling you, Mbeere North is not about the candidates. If you leave looking at the candidates, you're going to get the whole picture about Mbeere North. It's not about the candidates who are there. It's not about Wamudende. It's not about Karis. It's about the war between Gachagua and Ruto. And it is now in full mode. And it is going to be shown in 2027. And it's very good also it is 27. You know, the election also will be in 2027. So it's a coincidence. So I'm telling you, it's all about that. Let me take now in Malava, because you asked the question, I was taking the turn. In Malava, I saw yesterday the governor, former governor Oparanya, joined in to support the candidate of the UDA candidate. And let me tell you, now in Malava, now it is even harder now. The race now has engaged harder because you have government machinery for once. You know this Malava and Mbeere North, there is not too much difference because you have government machinery which is in place, which is CS Oparanya and Mudavadi. Then we have county government, which is also inside this race, and they are supporting the UDA candidate, which is being led by Fernandez Baraza. You know, even in Mbeere North, we have the governor, who is a chair of the UDA party, and we have the deputy president. So I'm telling you, these two races, that one for Kasipul, the only problem is because there is war. You know, there is always war in Homa Bay when they are voting. But these two, they are using machinery, brother. They are using there is so much government machinery which is being used. And that's why you see even Nani has been camping there. It's called Faruqi Bet, because he knows it's not as easy as it seems. And they think that, you know, Ruto what Mzalendo said was true. Ruto needs these guys more than they need him. And that's why you are seeing he's trying his best to make this united opposition break. You know, if the united opposition had broken down, hata hii Malava constituency vile wange campaign. But right now is if I saw yesterday the videos which were coming from, you know, I don't know which house they were because I saw them, all of them, before they went for the rally. Sijui walikuwa wameenda nyumba ya nani. I think it was Boni Alole or something.
No, it was Kakamega Golf Club.
It was oh, sorry, I thought it was a homestead for somebody. No, but you saw even the emergence of even Akina Boni Halwale, who you never thought that could be campaigning for DAP Kenya candidate. Now it is in full mode. I think people are preparing for war, Brother Benson. Not war as in war ya kupigana, political war. And this political war will not end. Now, after that's why I told Mzalendo and other people I said, when we finish these by-elections, when we finish them, we are not even going to take even one day. The campaign trail is going to start. There is no even time which will be wasted. People are not now going to start to realign. There is no even service delivery which will be done, Brother Benson and Mzalendo, in 1 year. This one next year we are going hakuna service delivery. Now it is campaign mode full. Sasa hata sijui iti imekuaje.
Hata sijui unasema nini. Kenya tulimaliza election 2022 na tukaanza campaign the next day. So unatuambia mambo ya service delivery sijui.
Now
Kenya tunamaliza uchaguzi tunaanza ingine immediately.
You see, when you look at the Malava case is kind of like quite much interesting because there are also infights within the ODM, because you know very well that Baraza and Oparanya, they're not seeing eye to eye in terms of politics. Remember when they were electing the ODM chair for Kakamega, you know, Kakamega County, there was that back and forth. And when you look at the deputy governor, which is also the deputy party leader of DAP, is supporting a UDA candidate. Is called Sivula.
It is a very confusing race, Brother Benson. I'm telling you, kila mtu wako
Waluya ndio wako na demokrasia. Waluya wako na demokrasia ya hali ya juu. Mimi wajimu Waluya. Na hao hawana hiyo demokrasia yao, hawana hizi mashida sisi tuko nayo, ati barabara sisi maji sisi nini. Uko na maziwa
hao
mengi.
washibe tu, wameshiba, wakishiba tu ni
Hao
hivyo.
ni
Hao wameshinda na demokrasia.
nia yao hii nia yao. Tunaongea juu ya Mumias Factory, Pan Paper Factory, na ile ingine inaitwa Nzoia.
Nzoia sugar.
Hizo vitu tatu ndio wanaongea. Miwa tu au wanaongea juu ya miwa, hizo vitu zingine yote nyinyi mnasema
Unga.
unga. Unga, bei ya unga iko namna gani?
And look at what is happening when you look at the way Boni Alwale is coming hard, especially on the government that he's serving, and is the same time is the minority leader in the Senate. If what is going to happen, because like from all the indication, you would tell that Malava, though Panyako might win because they have higher chances of winning. The repercussions that people like Boni Alwale are going to get, because you are fighting a government that has given you position in the Senate, how will he navigate? Or he has to get prepared of being fired. And I don't think he cares, right? At the place where he has reached.
I think what will happen, before Mzalendo answers, I think what will happen, I told you here, many things will happen after these by-elections. One of them is we are going to have a cabinet reshuffle. If I'm telling you, if Mbere is going to be lost, they are going to have a cabinet reshuffle. If Malava is going to be lost, we are going to have a parliamentary reshuffle. And after these reshuffles, that is where now the hell will break loose. Because now these guys who will be reshuffled, they are going now to start turning against this government. Let me ask you, do you think that CS Ruku, after he's fired as a CS, he can continue to be so much on this government? He's going to change tack.
I don't think, like, even if things are going to be the worst case scenario, I don't see President William Ruto firing Ruku.
But what will happen if they are not giving him any? One thing I know with William Ruto is one thing. One thing I always give it to him. If you don't give him any, if you are not giving him any, hauna kazi kwake, you don't give him any, haumpatii kitu yoyote ya kumsaidia, he's going to kick you out. What are you bringing for him? One thing I know with him is that, and we can see it with so many of the CSs who have been taken out. And in parliamentary system, if you are not giving anything to him. First, let me tell you, Brother Benson, this in Mbeere North by election, it is an indicator, because this is east, this is not west. This is, he was trying to create a wedge between east and west. So this is east. This is east. And if east you are won in east, what is the repercussion in the west? This is east. West is Nyeri. Nyeri is where you removed their deputy, their person, Rigathi Gachagua.
Now,
what will happen in the west?
Let's look at it this way. Do you think that the position being held by Kindiki, especially, can play a role in the just by election that is coming? Can it?
Kindiki is trying, but I am telling you, brother, this thing is not even all about Kindiki. I told you this is not even about Roko. This is about Rigathi Gachagua picking a revenge mission against William Ruto. And this is a William Ruto who does not want to show that they can beat me in this by-election. So this is all. I'm telling you, CS Roko and Gachagua and Kindiki. Kindiki obviously cannot be removed as a deputy president right now because even the time is gone. But I'm telling you, it will have casualties. It's a must everything you'll be answerable to. You heard Mudavadi saying that mkikosa kunipatia kura Malava nishindwe, itabidi hata mimi mtapoteza development.
Wacha nikukosoe kidogo, Joseph. Kindiki will be removed. If this election in Mbeere Ruto loses, those are the signs that he has to go. He has to look for a strategic partner in Central. And let me tell you guys, the next deputy president of the Republic of Kenya, my anticipation is that chances are Ndindi Nyoro will be Ruto's running mate in 2027. If the Luya cannot find their unity, if they will not find their unity by the time we are going for elections, Ndindi Nyoro will be William Ruto's running mate.
And where does that one put the ODM members?
ODM, they have already told you they're in government. What is Ruto negotiating with them? Ona negotiate na watu wale wako kwa serikali. Ruto has got no business with them. They're already in government. Yeah, them they should only negotiate for positions. Hao mambo yao ilishaisha. You heard what Cheregai said. He's called Cheregai.
Yes,
aliwaambia mimi mambo ya deputy wachaneni nayo, you can't even touch it. Story yenyu ilishaisha Ben.
Lakini one thing I can agree with Mzalendo ni when you hear Cherargei telling you that outaguzwa this wachane na Kindiki, that is what he said to Rigathi. Hiyo ndio aliambia Rigathi, and the next week walikuwa wanatoa Rigathi Gachagua. That is what he told Rigathi, you remember? Cherargei told msijaribu kucheza na Rigathi Gachagua. The next week we are hearing an impeachment motion. Now he told msijaribu kucheza na Kindiki. I'm telling you, that thing I've also seen it coming. I'm very sorry. I've seen it coming for Kindiki.
Kindiki mambo yake, that's why he has to work 24/7. If he cannot deliver the central people, then Ruto will look for somebody who can deliver for him. He needs that vote. Hata kama hata ipata yote, he needs something from central. And it is important for him. You understand? And he also needs to give the central people hope that hey, huku mbele tunaweza angalia kama mnaweza kuwa marais 2032. Unaona? So that is he's playing around with those cards.
But one thing I want to differ with Mzalendo is one thing. You see, even Ruto, if he tries to bring Ndindi Nyoro to the fold, I don't think it is creating too much.
Ndindi Nyoro have joint business. Jamaa, mimi nakwambia, the only person that Ruto wants to work with in Central Province is Ndindi Nyoro.
So that's why I was saying Ndindi Nyoro is okay. They can work with Ruto. I'm not refusing.
Yeah, and Ndindi Nyoro, the way he's playing his politics, is criticizing the government, but he's not criticizing Ruto directly.
You know one thing, let me tell even Mzalendo what I've known. One thing I've known is, Ruto has captured the Mount Kenya MPs. But one thing the Mount Kenya MPs, what they are going to tell Ruto, tumejaribu Ukindiki, lakini Ukindiki hajaweza. So, kwa nini tusilete kijana mdogo kama Ndindi Nyoro? You know, Ndindi Nyoro was being phrased to be the deputy president. Walikuwa wanaleta vita between Gachagua and Ndindi Nyoro. I know you remember that time.
Yeah.
And that thing became an issue at that time.
He was there apparent.
Yes, so I think what will happen, the MPs Kimani Ichung'wah will sit down with Ruto and have a talk and tell him now, my brother, we see now it's better Kindiki aende kwa sababu we are not seeing any major milestone is bringing. Let's bring the like of Ndindi Nyoro so that people can be able to see like he's a flesh blood. But the problem with Ndindi Nyoro will happen. I think now there is where his career will end. If he wants to play with his
no.
Akitaka kucheza na career yake hapo nitaishia Mzalendo.
Ndindi Nyoro career yake haishi kwa sababu one thing, Ndindi Nyoro can still come back and become the MP.
Yeah, for the MP for his constituency, but in Mount Kenya politically, Ndindi Nyoro
politically, I mean, he has got the mileage. I mean, this guy is still very young. And listen, Jose. The 2027 election, what it is all about is the young people. So long as you can, why is this cabinet reshuffle so important for William Ruto? He has to kick out the old folks in the cabinet and bring these young people. People like
who are the old, you need to name names, brother Mzalendo. Name the names. You're not saying
people
old.
Like, people like Kabogo, they don't add value to William Ruto's government. They will be. They have to go. I mean, seriously, those are people who don't have any value. They don't even.
The CS in water CS needs to go.
Yeah, these are people who don't hata wasikii hata wajui. Unajua kuna huyu mwingine alikuwa kwa serikali ya Kibaki. He was alikuwa Minister of Health. Alikuwa anaitwa Mutai nani? Anaitwa
Mutai Kahiga. Mutai Kagwe.
Mutai is a CS, yeah?
Yeah.
Who has to go. Those are people who don't add value.
I'm asking even water. I asked you about water, Brother Benso. You don't even know the CS for water. Do you know him?
Who is the CS for water?
From I think Kirinyaga or Meru. You don't know him. That's why I'm telling you. There's going to be a reshuffle.
These are the people who are supposed to articulate government policies and what they are doing for the people. And we don't even know the CS for water. William Ruto huyo lazima weka kalamu aende. Mimi unajua, acha nikwambie. That is the reason why we supported Ruto in 2022. Why
his name is Eric Muga. Eric Moreithi Muga. You don't know him. He's a very young man. I think he was the one without money in the cabinet. I think you remember. Hakuwa na pesa when they were saying their wealth net worth. He said it's about 30 million. You remember?
Oh, that guy of 30 million. But let us look at his net worth right now.
Yeah, he's from Meru. I think he's from Meru.
And
easy garbage lazima zienda. These are garbage in Ruto's cabinet. Hata kama unajua, acha nikwambie, Ruto does not need these positions. They don't add value to him. Hiyo CS wa water hata huyu wa Kabogo, hizo vitu zote atoe tu, aseme we don't need this CS, this position, because these people are so valueless.
Mzalendo, another person I'm seeing is going to be asked is the education CS. You see Ogamba? I see Ogamba is going to be asked very soon. You just tell me. Huyo wa education. I think Ruto is trying to look at Akisi who can be able to be a force.
Watu wajui Ruto vizuri. Ruto huyo ni mtu anakunywa maziwa Mursik na anaenda jogging na anafikiria siasa. Kuna vitu ngapi anafikiria? Anafikiria kwenda kanisa Sunday, kukunywa Mursik na siasa. Hakuna kitu kingine tena anafikiria.
And Mzalendo, let me just bring you, because like there's also this conversation that are going on, especially if you listen to some of the Luo leaders who say that, okay, they cannot support Kalonzo Musyoka, right? Or not Kalonzo Musyoka, sorry. They cannot support Rigathi Gachagua. The part that Rigathi Gachagua is, they're not supporting. But when you look at, you've talked about like the President William Ruto cannot negotiate with the ODM members, you know. What in the event that they don't negotiate with them, and Kalonzo is going to be the running candidate for the United Opposition with the support of Rigathi Gachagua, where is this one putting the especially the Luo community?
Wacha nikujibu na Kiswahili. Kitu kizuri
chajitembeza,
chajipendekeza,
chajitembeza ama kupendekeza,
chajitembeza na ingine ni
no,
kizuri chajipendekeza, chajitembeza na ile ingine chajipendekeza.
Kibaya kinakiuza,
kibaya chajiu. Hapo nimeanguka katika Kiswahili, but you got my point. You got my point. ODM ni kitu kibaya, kinajaribu kujiuza na kujipendekeza kwa William Samoei Ruto. Now, umeuliza swali mzuri sana. These guys, Kalonzo washamtusi huku, hata mahali ya kurudi hawana juu huku they have already burnt their bridges. Hii bridge ya Kalonzo walisha ng'oa na wakatupa huko. hao wamebaki na hii ya William Ruto, na hii ya William Ruto pia akifunga ile mrija ile tap mrija, akifunga hivi tap, afunga hiyo tap ya maendeleo ile analeta kule Nyanza juu William Ruto nimewaambia, atawaambia hao Wajaluo nini, mulitaka barabara nimewapatia, ndio mkubwa. Mulitaka ambulance nimewapatia huko Siaya, ndio mkubwa. Mulitaka
nuclear plant.
mulitaka nuclear plant ujenzi ijaanza, lakini iko niliwapatia.
Stadium.
Barabara stadium si iko, nimemaliza nimepatia. PS wa security mko nayo nimekubali. Na pesa sinalala huko Homa Bay.
Leo unanimaliza Mzalendo bwana.
Nimewapatia. What else do you want to bargain for? Ati mzee, tunataka sasa utupatie deputy president. Hata wewe jameni, ukiangalia Ruto anaambia ati jameni, unajua Ruto is a good negotiator. Hebu angalia tu wewe mwenyewe, Wakikuyu wanakura ngapi? Nyinyi wewe, hata tukiangalia na hao Waluya bana, hao na nyinyi mshukuru hiyo, kwa sababu hamkunipigia kura.
Ndio nimependa Waluya sana. Waluya, unajua Waluya tumesema hawana mambo mingi wanaitisha.
Ridhika na ile umepewa, kwa sababu wewe mwenyewe hukunipigia kura. Unajua, so lazima waridhike, au ni lazima waridhike na ile wamepewa na William Samoei Ruto, kwa sababu huku kwa kina Kalonzo pia wameshakataa ati huyo Kalonzo sijui atoshi nini. Ndio tunawaambia siasa ile mzuri ni wajigawanye, wengine waende kwa Kalonzo wapige hiyo siasa, kwa sababu hakuna kiongozi ule anasimama anaitwa Rigathi Gachagua. Ile machungu wako nayo na Rigathi Gachagua ni kwa sababu Rigathi Gachagua anaambia ukweli. Ukweli unajua unauma sana. Brother Ben, unajua ukweli, kuna ukweli ingine Gachagua yeye usema ile nauma sana. Hii siasa Jose, ambia Rigathi Gachagua, siasa itakagi ukweli sana. Unadanganya kidogo kama Ruto nini, yani huwezi kuwa hii siasa, lazima ukuwe muongo.
Lakini sasa jina yake anaitwa Truthful Man. Sasa utamwambia danganya aje? Jina yake ni Truthful Man.
Ndio maana unaona ana mashida mingi sana. Hii siasa itaki ukweli. Siasa ya Kenya itaki ukweli. Siasa Kenya nataka ukora na uwizi. Unaona?
Lakini nadhani brother Mzalendo, hata tukipigaga Gachagua ama vile watu wengine hawampendi wanampiga, I think amebadilisha siasa sana.
Huoni vile Kalonzo ana struggle kupendekeza kutafuta kura. Kalonzo anasema ukweli, kila anaweza kukuambia hata kwa hii mfuko yangu niko na shilingi 200 peke yake. Unataka nikuonyeshe?
Na Mzalendo, labda tu nikuulize swali, kwa sababu mara mingi tumeona kwamba maviongozi wetu sana sana wale ambao wanaegemea serikali ama kuna wale ambao wanasema kuwa leo hii kwa saizi ndio tuko kwa serikali, lakini ukiangalia historia hakuna serikali ambao labda tunaweza sema kwamba watu kutoka eneo la Nyanza wamekosa, ama kwa sababu ukiangalia serikali ya Kibaki ilikuwepo, serikali ya Moi ilikuwepo, hata serikali ya Kenyatta wa kwanza Jaramogi Oginga Odinga alikuwepo, lakini kuna ile walikosana kimawazo ama kifikra, lakini wote wamekuwepo, na ni jambo ambalo wamekuwa wakihubiri sana. Unaona kama hii itakuwa inawaletea faida sana sana katika siasa, kwa sababu nasema kwamba hapa ndio lazima tuwepo kwa sababu tumewekwa kwa serikali. Inawafanya wasizungumuze na watu wale wengine, itawaletea faida.
Siasa ya ukabila inaitwaje, kwa mtazamo wangu hizi siasa za kijamii sisi kama jamii sisi kama sijui nani hizi ni siasa zile wanasiasa wanatumia ili waingie kwa wananchi kujinufuisha, kujifaidisha hao wenyewe. Unaona, sisi kama jamii, sisi kama nani, a politician's interest comes first, ndio interest ya jamii inakuja. Unanielewa?
Nakuelewa.
So hii mambo ya bargaining power yati tukikuwa pamoja tumekuwa pamoja miaka ngapi Ben? Si Wajaluo wamekuwa pamoja miaka ngapi? Hebu niambie, hebu kwa hesabu yako tu, ni mahali gani hatujawahi kuwa pamoja?
Hakuna.
Tumekuwa pamoja hizo miaka nenda miaka rudi. Wakisii wamekuwa pamoja?
Wamekuwa hapo.
Wamekuwa wakipiga siasa yao ya kijamii. Sisi kama Wakisii?
Hapana.
Wamekuwa na vyama ngapi kule? Wamekuwa na vyama ngapi? Mingi sana. Haya, hapa Central wako na vyama ngapi?
Ziko mingi.
Wamekuwa na maendeleo ama hawajakuwa na maendeleo?
Wamekuwa na maendeleo tena sana.
Na nani anakuambia jamii ndio italeta maendeleo?
Labda tu ndio maana tunauliza, we kwa fikra zako unaona kwamba hii mkondo ambao wamechukua, labda kusema kwamba vitu ambazo labda tulikuwa tunakosa mara hii tutakuwa tunazipata.
Bas, unajua nilikuwa my trail of thought ilikuwa imepotea kidogo. Ile kitu nilikuwa nakwambia ya muhimu zaidi ni uangalie katiba ya Kenya. Angalia katiba ya Kenya, kazi ya rais wa Kenya. Kazi ya rais wa Kenya ni akipata urais anafaa kuleta maendeleo kwa wale wajampigia kura na wale walimpigia kura, na aweze kubalance. Unaona, hizi mambo za kijamii, wacha nikwambie, Wakikuyu ni wengi. Rigathi Gachagua anakuja pale na ati one man one shilling one vote. Hizo that kind of nonsense anakuja nayo. Haya, kuna kabila ingine kadogo hapa Coast inaitwa Wakauma. Unawajua Wakauma?
Siwajui.
Kuna kabila Mombasa inaitwa Wakauma.
Kwani brother Benson umetoka Kenya gani bwana? Ujui Wakauma?
Hawapiti zaidi ya watu 20,000, sijui ni kama wameenda mingi sana ni 20,000 sasa hivi. Au watakuwa siku gani, watakuwa na waziri siku gani? Ama watakuwa na ushawishi gani? Kama hizi makabila kubwa, Kenya ina makabila 42. Kabila kubwa Jaluo, Kalenjin, inaitwaje, Mkamba, Muluya, na hii ingine saizi kuna Msomali anaingia hapo. Unaona Wasomali wameingia hapo sasa, au ndio wanasema wako na ushawishi. Hizi kabila zingine zote ni kukanyagwa. Sasa ni wakati wa hizi kabila ndogo pia ziungane, zitengeneze serikali, kwa sababu hizi kabila kubwa zimekuwa zikiwanyanyasa. So mimi nasema kama ni mambo na rais wa Jamhuri ya Kenya, rais wa Jamhuri ya Kenya anafaa kuangalia maendeleo imeenea katika sehemu zote in the 47 counties zile Kenya iko nayo, including diaspora.
Na sasa ukisema hivyo, lakini ukitega masikio unapata wakati labda rais ameenda kwa ziara ya maendeleo, anaambia labda eneo ambao anataka ama ile eneo ambao anafanyia ziara, labda tuseme tu juzi hapa alikuwa Ukambani, akasema Ukambani kwamba mkitaka kupata maendeleo ni lazima mkuje kwa serikali.
That is a wrong statement. That is a very, very wrong statement coming from a president who is a unifying factor of the country. You cannot go to Kambani and tell us that all the things that Raila Odinga and the rest fought for, democracy, is all bullshit. You cannot go and say that sasa sisi wote lazima tukue kwa serikali. Okay, sawa Ben. Sisi wote tuko kwa serikali sasa hivi, tuna support William Ruto. Sisi tumerudi kwa ile chama moja. ile ya KANU. Tumerudi kwa okay, sisi wote sasa tumevunja machama zetu, tumerudi sasa, sisi ni wana KANU, sisi ni wana UDA, sisi wote tuko ndani ya UDA. Ruto ndio president wetu, sisi wote, hakuna opposition. So why do we even have do we even have multi-party democracy? Why did we even have the 2010 constitution? Why did we even repeal section 2A of the Kenyan constitution in 1992? We need to have multi-party democracy. And multi-party democracy, Ruto said it very well when he was campaigning. He was hoodwinking the people. He said that he needs a strong opposition. And here he is killing the opposition. The opposition parties in Kenya help the presidency in governance. And Raila Odinga learned the art. Yeye ndiye alikuwa sasa mtetezi wa wanyonge. Ndiye alikuwa anaonekana baba walioaway. Baba walioaway, this is what happened. Tulinyanyaswa. So they are reporting to the guy who can negotiate on behalf of them. Unaona? So we cannot kill democracy and go to a one-party system where everybody wants us to be in government. Today, William Ruto wants Gachagua in government. William Ruto wants ODM to wind up and be in part of UDA. He wants DCP to be in UDA, everybody to be in that government. What are we talking about? Are we talking about communism in Kenya? Are we talking about CCM in Kenya? No. Kenya is a multi-party democracy. So we must ensure that we remain a multi-party democracy where we have got the rights to talk the way I'm talking. We earned this. And had it been a few years ago, hatungeweza kuongea hivi. Unaona? So we must safeguard democracy at all costs. Lazima we safeguard our democracy.
The thing I have to pick with what Brother Benson is saying, it's not a must that you be a community and you support the government so that you can receive resources. That one is a very far-fetched thing. I've never even seen it in the Constitution. Where in the Constitution does it say that since we are supporting the government, we are going to receive resources? It's very bad.
Even Brother Jose, even in the same Constitution, tuambie mahali kuna broad base.
It is very bad, and it's very bad for Ruto kusimama pahali na anasema ati mimi kama mtanichagua mtakaa opposition hakuna maendeleo itafanyika. I had that one to be very 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 bad as a person who is supposed to be a unifying factor in the country. One thing I would like us mi kitu moja ningependa inaweza fanyika Kenya is one thing. When you are coming to become a president of Kenya, you need to tell us what you are going to do to every region, every county. You need to tell us, because you come here, you tell us, I'm going to transform Kenya, I'm going to make it fast world. Brother Benson, you are making Kenya a fast world, and even the regions you are talking about, you cannot be a fast world if you don't have democracy. You cannot tell us about fast worldism and you don't have the certain regions are lagging behind. Unajua mimi nakasirika sana Brother Benson. It's a very good vision kukua fast world. Lakini the things that we are doing, it's not fast forward things. We are taking our back. I think even we are going back to where we were instead of going forward where we were. Mzalendo amekwambia hapa tunaenda KANU. Tukirudi KANU, kama tunarudi KANU, where are we going? We are going back to where we were. We are not going forward. And this is the same similar reason that is this is the same issue that is happening in East Africa. East African countries, I think, Brother Benson, they have an issue and they have a very big problem. And I think them going forward in terms of developing and everything, it will be very hard until we shed off these things of we want one person to be saying what to do. Ati lazima nilisikia Samia akisema ati mimi maendeleo nitaileta kwa vile mimi nataka, nitaileta kwa wale watu ambao hawavurugi serikali, hawavurugi amani. What kind of rhetorics is that, Brother Bess? I've never heard such kind of things. That's why Raila Odinga came up with something called Majimbo. Why was Majimbo coming up? Majimbo was to come and try to equalize this country. But still, even after we had Majimbo, some other people want to destroy them. You know the certain character of people who want to destroy the constitution. He never even supported the constitution of 2010. How do you expect him to safeguard it? This guy never supported the constitution 2010. Una expect yeye mwenyewe ni ataendelea kuiguard? He can never guard it because he's not favorable with it.
All right, there's something here. Never say democracy.
Let me just add what add a point on what my brother has said. This democracy that we are talking about and this tribalism and what is happening in our country, it's very, very dangerous. Now, you condemn Rigathi Gachagua on the other end of being a tribalist, and you encourage Kalonzo Musyoka on the other end to come with the Kamba votes and be part of your government. And when you go to Luo Nyanza, you tell them, you kama Wajaluo nimewafanyia hivi na hivi. Come with that regional block called the Luo vote. Now, how does this disenfranchise the community when you now go to the local leadership? Now, suppose we are all Luos vying for a position in Homa Bay, for instance. Jose wants to be the governor. He's aligned to ODM. Ben is also aligned to ODM. But Mzalendo here is aligned to ODM, but has got a different view from what the community expects of me. But I've got very perfect policies more than all of you. I will not be elected because of the community mobilization.
Yeah.
And they will disassociate me with the community and say that, this one is Rigathi Gachagua speaking. You've heard that in many forums. People, Sifuna is being called a Rigathi Gachagua agent because he has got different views from the community mobilization. They don't encourage criticism, and there is no internal democracy when a community is mobilized. You understand that is the danger that we are facing with this community mobilization. Be it Rigathi Gachagua mobilizing his Kikuyu community, there will be no internal democracy in that movement. Same to Kalonzo, same to William Ruto mobilizing the Kalenjin. He brings everybody. He has brought Gideon on board. He has brought that guy who was running for governor on board. He has brought people like Keter, people who are differing in with his policies. So they cannot differ with him from within. So that is why it is dangerous for all of us to go that direction and be one government where we cannot criticize the president. And that is very, very dangerous.
All right. Thank you so much. I can see Sharon is with us. Sharon, thank you so much for joining us. And this is Brother Benson. If you're new here, you can hit the subscription button. So when we're having conversation like this, the YouTube will notify you. Let us now wind up. And we are winding up on the note of Tanzania. And Larry Madiwo came up with a documentary showing what happened to Tanzania, whereby if you listen to the documentary and you watch it, it seemed like there's alleged that there's this massive grave somewhere that people have been buried, because even including our own Kenyan brother, I don't think like that guy has been found. Yeah, he's still missing. And this is bringing to attention also on how do our foreign, especially the Ministry for Foreign Affairs, how does it work, especially when it comes to Kenyans? So on that note, the government spokesman of Tanzania, this is what he said. Is called Musigwa. Namnukuu, baada ya Cable News Network CNN kutoa makala inayohusu mambo yaliyotokea kipindi cha uchaguzi tarehe 29 Oktoba, msemaji mkuu wa serikali Mheshimiwa Grayson Msigwa ametoa ujumbe huu. Serikali inafuatilia makala iliyochapishwa muda mfupi iliyopita na chombo cha habari cha CNN kuhusu matokeo ya tarehe 29 Oktoba 2025 na siku zilizofuatia. Tunachambua na kuhakiki maudhui yaliyomo katika makala hiyo, na tamko la serikali itakuja baadaye ya kukamilika kwa hakiki huo. Taarifa kutoka kwa Gerson Mwajima. Sasa ametoa ni kama anaangalia bado wanaisoma hiyo makala ama that documentary, they are still looking into it, then they will bring in, or they will weigh their thoughts afterwards. But now this is my take, especially when it comes to Tanzania. There are two things especially that will affect I'm looking at two presidents, President William Ruto and President Samia Suluhu. There's one thing that will not go away, especially in the administration of President William Ruto. That is the protest of the Gen Z of June 2026. It will always remain fresh, and it's something that will always be there. And this is also what is going to affect Suluhu Hassan. What happened in Tanzania, especially those young men losing their lives, that is something that is not going to disappear. And as put her on the map in the world, then has branded her. That is something that I know 100% sure. Maybe Joseph, what can you say about the what Raila Madiwo did?
Yes, I saw the documentary, Brother Benson, and it is very heartening to see what power can really, what you trying to fight for power can really cause. I saw there was a certain lady who was only demonstrating, and they are saying that she's the breadwinner of the family, and she was even pregnant at the moment when they were demonstrating. And clearly you could see that that lady was shot on live on the camera, which was picking the shot. Then after that, Larry Madiwo took us to a certain guy who was wearing a red t-shirt, and when the woman was shot and they started gun shooting, they hid in somewhere. Kulikuwa na kanini kahali kidogo, wakajificha hapo. After the police started, is like they were seeming to go away kidogo. They started kutoka from this alley, and you know that guy was shot on the head spot. He was shot and he lay down. Then I also went and saw in a mortuary, even they gave it the name. I don't remember the name, but they showed a mortuary. I don't know if you have the name. I forgot the name, but I saw the mortuary. And if you see the mortuary where you see people lying
they call it Mwananyamala
Hospital. Yeah. In Mwananyamala hospital. I think it's the mortuary of the hospital.
Yeah.
I think you seeing people being laid on top of people, Brother Benson, this is something I never thought could happen after the Rwanda massacre. I never thought that something like this could ever happen in our entire history of life as Africans. But the only thing that I've ever seen happening like that, mili kiekanilio labda mili ya ng'ombe, when they have slaughtered and they are putting them for going to sale. Brother, it is very, you see in those people, they are being piled up. Do you know, you imagine those are people who had life. It's a person who was just talking maybe 10, 30 minutes ago, 1 hour ago. He's already lying in the morgue. And it's not one morgue. They did not say one morgue. They said there were almost 2. Even the doctor himself who was in that morgue could not even be able to explain what he saw because of the horrors he had seen. And it's not horrors about people being killed by machete, people being killed by rungus. It was people who were killed by gunshot. Who do we know who owns the gunshot? Who owns the guns in the country? It is the police and the military who owns the guns in the country. So after that, we were taken by Rari to one of the grave sites that they are saying the people have been married in mass graves. You know, the government is refuting this, but they looked at an angle from I think from the Nini up there, we call the satellites, and they saw that place was green with vegetation. After a certain period, it was all white. It became barren, and the soil was turned. So I think it is demonic. It's not even, I did not say any other thing. It is demonic. You killing people because you want to clinch into power. Then after that, you don't even want the families to bury the people. You want to bury them so that you can hide what you have been doing. I think it is a height of, I think this politics also, even if we come to discuss them, Brother Benson, sometimes if you think about the issues that come with them, you feel very disgusted with. So it's very disgusting. I watched the pictures that were posted by Boniface Mwangi, and I went through, when I was going through, Brother Benson, I was not able even to go to the last ones, because what I saw, I've never seen. I've never seen anywhere. Maybe we have been having it in Kenya, but not at that scale. That was an animalistic scale. That is killing people like animals. And it's very unfortunate, but this one will have ramification for this woman. This woman can think she won, or she did what she, you know, you cannot say that you are voted by 98% of the people, but you are going to swear yourself in the military barracks. What are you doing? You have 90% of the people, you say they voted for you. You are supposed to be in a stadium, people celebrating you, but yourself, you know yourself, you did not win these elections, and you kill people. You need to hide in the barracks. And I'm telling you, Tanzania is going to change, and I'm seeing for a future where Tanzania is going to restrict, because that constitution of theirs, Brother Benson, it's a very bad constitution. It is very bad. If you cannot even contest election for presidential election, I don't know, but it is very sad. It is very sad. I have watched those clips and those pictures. I can never wish something for somebody like that. It is bad.
Okay, and you know what was happening today, because I've been following on the young men who were arrested and taken to court. There's one young man who has never appeared in the courts, and his whereabouts is nowhere to be seen, but his name is among the people who are charged, but he has not appeared before the court of law. So today is when I think like the lawyer that was handling the case on behalf of the family members came to realize that guy, his name is in the charge sheet, but he has not appeared in the courts. So that is something that also is happening. Secondly, before Mzalendo come in, then we can wind up. Sometimes sometimes it is quite difficult even to understand. How do you form a committee to investigate something that you might like? How? And the people who are in that committee, they're the people who are compromised.
But I think, Brother Benson, what I'll say is African Union and United Nations, they have failed in their mandate. Because you cannot tell African Union, I saw them, first thing I want to talk about African Union, the first thing they did, the chair of the African Union congratulated this woman for winning the elections in Tanzania. Then after, I don't know what they did. I think they saw it is hot in the hot news, or it was very hot at that time. They doubled down. Then they came and said that those elections were not free and they were not fair. Then they started saying that the Tanzania government should form an inquiry. Which the Tanzania government should form an inquiry about police who are killing people. Do you understand even that point, what it's saying? Form an inquiry about the police who are killing, the police who are given the mandate by the government to kill these people. So I think AU and UN have failed in their mandate, because even if they were told not to enter into Tanzania, Tanzania cannot tell these people not to enter. They need to go and see what they are going to do. I think we are supposed to be having a national outcry about Tanzania. The people should be let to go inside there to go and do the investigation. What really happened? Do you think these police officers are going to do an inquiry on how they buried the people in mass graves? No. Do you think they're going to do an inquiry on how people were killed and the photos that was created in the social media? They will never do anything. You hear people are being charged of treason. What kind of treason did they do? They did not even overthrow the government. What kind of treason were they doing? you feel, but I don't know. But one thing I'll say, UN and AU have failed in their mandate. And not only in Tanzania, they failed even in Sudan and so many of the countries. I think they are failing their mandate as organizations. They are just they. I don't even understand their work anymore.
All right, thank you so much. But one thing that also we have to remind them, leadership is transitional. Today you are in the leadership, tomorrow you'll be out of the leadership, and somebody who will be coming might have the interests of the country at heart, and you might be brought to book, especially like those who are defending something that they know is wrong. They know something happened, but you end up defending. Anyway, Mzalendo, what is your take before now we wind up? I think we've done like 2 hours.
Anyway, I have a lot. I've a lot to say about. Let me just start with the AU. Um, AU is a body that almost each and every African country contributes towards that particular body. During elections, they send people they call observers. They send a team of observers. Some of them are from the civil society and even the media personalities. And they come up and tell you that, elections were either free and fair or the elections were not free and fair, and they offer recommendations, and their work ends there. So it is not something that will strengthen democracy in Africa or in East Africa. So apart from that, we have what this other smaller body called the AAC, which is also very toothless. And the reason why these institutions are toothless is because these countries contribute towards the existence of AU. It is not a body that is independent. It is a body that is run by the presidents of these countries. So that is why we will continue to have such problems. But now, when you come to why democracy is very very fragile in Africa,
Mhm,
one, it because of the law, and it is because of the executive powers that wheels around the presidency.
mm,
We have a judiciary that is controlled by the presidency. We have a parliament that is controlled by the presidency. So you saw just the other day when Ruto went to address parliament, the whole parliament was standing up to clap for the president.
two-term,
What were they saying?
two-term.
Yeah, that is what they were saying. An independent body that should oversee what the executive is doing is a cheering squad to the executive. So what does that tell you? We don't have a parliament that is even functional. That is why the Gen Z stormed that parliament, and we hope in 2027, 90% of them are going home because they have eroded democracy, and they have become the puppet of the state.
Mhm,
Now, what is happening is in Tanzania is an identity. Uh, for Tanzania, it's unique because they have an identity called CCM. So
mm,
this CCM is what Tanzanian used to identify with. But now, politically, they have outgrown CCM. They want more political parties, more engagement with the leaders, which CCM cannot provide. And Suluhu is dangerous for the people of Tanzania. If the people of Tanzania are watching this, Madam Suluhu is dangerous for the Tanzanian people. Madam Suluhu is not a solution to the democracy in Tanzania.
mhm.
She needs to go as soon as possible.
Yeah, okay.
If it is by the ballot, which is impossible, then we need to have a candidate who is ready to take on Madam Suluhu. Otherwise, the only way you can bring change in Tanzania is through demonstrations. Suluhu, you will not kill every Tanzanian to be in power. You will not kill every one of us. to be in power. You have eroded democracy. You have killed so many people to be in power. You have bad journalists from people have disappeared. You have even jailed the opposition, some opposition leader who is supposed to be who is supposed to contest against you, and you won the election by 98%. Shame on you, and shame on all the African leaders, including my president, who congratulated Suluhu and any other president who was associated and said that these elections were free and fair, and they don't want to be associated with everything that is happening in Tanzania. Shame on you.
Mm-hmm. All right. Are you done, Mr. Mzalendo?
Yes, I think I'm done, and it's annoying when I saw uh, uh, the documentary by Larry Madiwo. Larry Madiwo, congratulations, you are doing a good job. Continue pressing hard. We will not stop. They will not stop so many other voices. If you're pushing it on the other end, we will push it on the social spaces so that our people can get information. They can get, our leaders can be held accountable for their actions.
Actually, I was just looking. There's also another guy who was abducted like yesterday in Tanzania. He's an old guy. I just forgot the name because I'm following their news. So abduction is still taking place in Tanzania. But all in all, Father Dan, thank you so much for your observation. I will make sure that I do that next time, and that is taken care. To everyone who was here with us, is almost 3 hours, 2 hours, 40 minutes. We've done good, and we always appreciate you for always being with us in our shows, especially in the morning where we do meet the press. We have Mzalendo, Joseph, and other panelists who usually come. We are also planning tomorrow also to have one, because I see President is already in Kisii for church service. We will look at what is happening and what kind of projects is going to be there. For my panelists, that is that is Mzalendo and Joseph. Thank you so much for your time, and let me see you tomorrow morning, the same place, same time.
Yep. Yeah.
We look at
Yeah.
what is
One last thing, Ben. Brother Ben. Yeah, if you want to find more commentary on political matters, you can join Afrique also on YouTube platform. Afrique is AFRIQ. We IQ24. We also have some football going on with people like Jose. They are analyzing the English Premier League. But so far, Jose, we are leading on top of the table, unfortunately. If there is one thing that is going to happen after Baba's death, is Arsenal is going to win the league. So we are going to be at least
So
happy.
I'm waiting. I'm waiting today, because today and tomorrow I'll be cooking you live in Africa. I'll be cooking you live because I know Tottenham will do
No,
that thing.
I know. Brother Ben does not understand anything called soccer. These people.
okay. The good thing is that
Huyu alicheza ile mchezo inaitwa cha mama.
yani huyu sasa.
Unajua ile
But
mchezo
I
inaitwa cha
also
mama.
want to say,
Cha
Brother
mama na
Benson,
cha baba.
can I put one comment a bit? Brother Benson, there is one thing happening. Kenya was beaten 8-0, Brother Benson. And I think we need to strategize on how Kenya sports is going to be played. Because I think the football only is the one which is letting us down in all the categories of sports.
No, wait, boss. Kenya does not play football. It plays football. Football. If Ruto is not giving them money, they will not play anything. So you might know that the football.
Labda pesa ikutolewa.
Yeah, ndio nakwambia inaitwa football. 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 We don't play football, we play football.
Yeah, but Brother Benson needs to know about football, because we are going to be hosting the AFCON. So you need to learn about football.
Nilikwambia huyu alicheza ile mchezo inaitwa cha mama. ati leo yeye ndio baba, leo yeye
Sasa
ndio baba, ama siku ingine yeye ni mama.
wacha nikuambie Mzalendo, wacha nikuambie Mzalendo, hiyo hata kama ni hiyo tutaleta hapa tuichambue tu hapa tu, na hata tukiwa
unless kama kuna analysis ya referee, hiyo tutakupatia. Kuwa na siku njema bwana.
Kwanza tutaleta ya mpira tuanze kuchambua zili mziki sasa.
Mpira ukitaka chukua kuja pale Afrika, tutakutana na panelist kina Jose hapo wanapigana makonde.
Lakini pia tukiongea mambo, I want to congratulate the women rugby team sevens, Lionesses. They outperformed themselves in that rugby tournament. I watched it all, and they beat the likes of Akina Zimbabwe. They beat the likes of Akina Uganda. You know, Uganda are our dominable enemies, but now they are dominable enemies. South Africa, I think they had a upper hand, but they really tried, those girls. And also the volleyball team and the netball team. Do you know the netball team won the champions? They won the champions. I think the world champions. Yeah, they won the world champions, and it's very recommendable.
Kulikuwa na msichana mwingine alikuwa anacheza volleyball, alikuwa anaitwa Wangeshi, sijui wa Shushu, sijui wa nani. Volleyball.
I think they retired now. We have new group of ladies now.
She died.
No, some died, and one. I think who died?
Yeah, Ben, you are right. She died. That lady died.
Yeah, Wangeshi.
Kitu najua mwezi kishinda hata kama mnajua mpira, lakini kufuatilia vitu vingi.
Unaona zile mpira unajua, volleyball, netball.
Si ati najua.
Father Dan is asking what time I have to watch. I have a couple of time. I like to go with things. You know, first things that are making our Kenyan country proud, I like to watch them. That's why I know about netball. I watched and they beat netball.
Msikose kusalimia Father Dani hapo. Father Dani, tunashukuru sana kwa kujumuika na sisi. Good year, asante sana kwa kujumuika na watu wote wale. Kama nilikukera zaidi, ukuje tena nitakukera zaidi. Kama ulifurahia pia, ungana na sisi tena Friday. Saa kama huu, tukichambua siasa vile ziko. Asante.
Wacha nichukue nafasi hii kuwashukuru nyinyi wote kuchukua muda wenyu, tukue na mazungumzo. Labda leo ama kesho asubuhi, Mungu akitujalia, bado tutakuja hapa tuendelee na mazungumzo. Mzalendo, you are an honest man. Hiyo okay, sawa.
Hiyo hata mimi nasema.
Nani huyo? Hata Jose umesimamia man honest man.
Hiyo nitacheka kidogo. Umeniambia kuhusu Arsenal hiyo. Umeniambia kuhusu Arsenal hiyo, hapana.
That's why I can't be a politician. I'm too honest.
Okay, thank you so much, and may God bless you all. See you tomorrow, same place, same time.